Hey, this is WWE and ECW alumni, the Blue Meanie, and you're listening to PCW.
The question is, are you ready? Let me talk to you.
I will give you a show like you have never, ever seen before. Why? Because I can.
What do you guys want to talk about?
And the color red in a world full of black and white. I am the eater of worlds. Yeah, if you're some acknowledge me. The champ is here. But to be the man, you gotta beat the man, and I'm saying, woo, right here.
Hey, yo.
The best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome back to another episode of PCW Podcast Championship Wrestling. I am your host, Wayne, also known as Semi-Dry Chicken, and this is episode 105, first episode of 2026. We have a special episode for you. We are going to be doing the 2025 Slammy Awards. We decided to wait until after the holidays, because we have lives, and we needed a break. So, that was our break. Now we're back. We're going to be doing the Slammies. We got some stuff in the news. A free agent has just left the AEW. We're going to talk about that. Actually, two free agents have left AEW. We'll talk about that. We got some more stuff for the wrestling bracket, fantasy match bracket we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about some injuries and going into the Royal Rumble. With that said, let me bring in my co-host. Doyle.
Oh, it's me. It's the Doyle.
Hey man,
And Happy New Year.
Yeah, it's been a while. We've had a nice gap in between episodes. By God, so much has happened since our last episode in professional wrestling. The title changes.
Lots of title changes.
Yeah, a lot of title changes, but we'll get to that. Let's bring in our other co-host, and we will definitely talk about that. Welcome back, Dre.
Yo, what it do, PCW crew?
Man, I'm in my head. I'm going, whoop that Dre, whoop that Dre. I was like, yeah, I'm just feeling it, man.
The ad libs.
Yeah,
What's going to be cultural appropriation, right?
Yeah.
What's that?
I said that's going to be some kind of cultural appropriation, right? He's saying, whoop that Dre. So close to Martin Luther King Day, too. My goodness.
Damn. Starting the podcast off pretty rough. Welcome, 2026. Man, how was your guys' break?
Well, you get a pass if you've seen the movie that inspired that chant in the first place. And that would be
the Terrence Howard Oscar-nominated film Hustle and Flow.
Yes. And bonus points if you know that Travis Howard is Terrence Howard rather is a lunatic.
Dre, what are you eating this episode?
I guess I'm the only person who knows.
Oh no, the man has said some wild stuff.
Yeah. He sure has. He sure has.
What are you eating, Dre?
Tonight I'm doing Mission Barbecue.
Mission Barbecue, nice. What'd you get from Mission Barbecue? Come on, spill the beans.
Are we being sponsored? Come on.
Right?
We're not giving out free commercials here.
Fuck that place.
Let me know what's on my plate. Yeah, just a sausage, just some mac and cheese and fries.
Nice. So, guys, it feels like everything in the world is right in professional wrestling, and I mean, I was able to wake up and have CM Punk as our world champion and Drew McIntyre as our WWE champion. Becky Lynch is our IC champion.
Well,
I mean,
the world's only half right in somebody's eyes.
we got
It's been a long time coming for
Rhea and Io are the new
Scotland.
women's tag champions. I mean, doesn't it feel like everything's right in the world?
No, Bianca Belair ain't back.
Not yet, man.
Yeah,
Not
sure.
yet. Not yet, but, you know, nursing that finger injury, you know? Damn, dude, how long has it been?
Didn't Julia didn't the women's U.S. title just change again too?
Yeah, but like, yeah, I guess you're right. Doyle, like,
It is back to Julia, right?
yeah, it's back to Julia.
Yeah.
But I guess I like the chase for Chelsea, right? And it makes her a multiple-time United States champion already. Her and Julia.
Unprecedented.
Yeah. So, and we got Jade Cargill out there hurting people, you know, taking them off live events. Hey guys, did you know, well, it's, you know, fuck it, we'll go into it before we get into Slammies. Powerhouse Hobbs, AEW, free agent. What do you, you guys, 34 years old, 6'1", 270 pounds. What can WWE do with a guy
34
like...
is a little young for WWE, for
What's
the
that?
main roster.
Yeah.
34 is a little young.
Right
He needs
to main
to get
roster?
up in his 40s before he could. No, I've always been a big fan of this kid. You know, I think he's one of those dudes that just was missing something. I'm not sure what.
Right.
And I feel like AEW does a great job with people that are already established, you know, and maybe enhancing those people, but I don't think they do a great job with developing. And, whoa, looky here, we have NXT, and which suddenly needs a huge infusion of people, especially big people. So I think he has a great chance to succeed, especially throw him in NXT for a year or two. I think he has a great chance to succeed. I'm looking forward to seeing how Triple H is going to fuck this up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say my immediate thought on hearing this news was that NXT can't wait to have him because they need him right about now after getting their roster freaking
Pick
ransacked with all these
But
calls.
that's the whole point of NXT, isn't it?
Exactly.
is.
Which is crazy because I see people online getting upset about it, like too many call-ups, all this stuff, man. NXT's gonna suck now. They don't have anybody left now, and I'm like, this is how this works.
I know.
Yeah.
NXT
That's the whole
gets
point.
people, they develop, they get a good crop of people that are ready for the main roster. They move up, so that way the next group can come behind them and begin their development in NXT.
And now they've got levels below NXT now, right? They've got, what is it, Evolve. And Let's Go, or whatever it's called.
LFG.
Yeah, they got the Evolve. Yeah, they have the
Yeah,
pipeline.
I mean-
They're establishing this system. Now, I will say, as far as the call-ups, them doing it is not wrong. Them
Right.
doing this many people calling them up is not wrong. I do think they could have spaced them out a little bit, though. Because they pretty much brought them all in to the new year.
Mm-hmm.
And they pretty much have
but that's kind of,
all of them up.
for better or worse. For better or worse, that's kind of always how they've done it. Whether it was via the draft, which was the same thing with, you had 6, 8, whatever it was, call-ups at a time. My problem with that is that I feel like at least one person, if not multiple people, get lost in the mix. And I think you're right that all these call-ups all at the same time might not be the best way to go, because I feel like somebody always gets fucked over.
So you don't think...
I mean, all this at the same time, you have to do something. People are going to expect something to happen with everybody at once, which is going to be kind of hard to do. Right, especially this time of year when you should be focused on WrestleMania. These people aren't getting called up to immediately show up on WrestleMania, so you kind of got to juggle that at the same time. I think they could have spaced this out just a little bit. I ain't saying it had to be like 6 months or anything like that, but at least between now and WrestleMania, we could have gotten a series of call-ups. Plus, the one thing I will defend NXT about is, let's not forget that while the main roster has WrestleMania, NXT has Stand and Deliver that weekend, which is basically their WrestleMania. And with their roster being stripped down like this, it leaves them kind of bare to try to build up, their quote-unquote WrestleMania caliber matches and programs basically within the next 2 months.
Right.
So again,
you would think that after Mania would be the time to do this.
That's exactly
which is kind of traditionally when it's been, right?
Right, which is where I was going with it. Not saying all of them had to be held up, but they could have, like I said, if it would have been me, I would have staggered specifically Javon Evans, Trick Williams, and Obafemi between now and post WrestleMania. I may have had Javon come first, and, on Raw, let him debut there. Then I would have had Nick Aldis as GM of SmackDown. I'd be like, okay, I see what you're doing with Javon. I'll counter that with Trick Williams, and maybe bring Trick Williams in and like after the Rumble, as his counter to Adam Pearce landing Javon Evans, and then he does his thing, and then have Obafemi, it seemed like the big prize. Let them both compete back and forth going up to WrestleMania for him, and then after WrestleMania, Obafemi makes his decision on what brand he signs with, and he debuts on the main roster after WrestleMania.
Well, let's get back to the point here. It's like I was bringing up, like we're like going off topic here. Powerhouse Hobbs coming to WWE. So you definitely see him going directly to NXT, not to the main roster. Both you guys.
Absolutely, that's where he's needed more.
Yeah.
He's needed on the. Like, we got Obafemi coming to the main roster. So what do we need Hobbs for now?
Right. Cool.
God damn it, give me a big giant black guy.
Yeah. Do you guys listen to Insight with Chris Van Vliet at all?
Depends on who his guest is.
I'm the same way. Depends who it is.
I see that the clips make their way onto my desk often, but I can't recall ever sitting and listening to more than a 45-second that I see on somewhere.
His podcast isn't really like must listen to for me or must watch on his YouTube, but Stephanie's is quickly becoming that for me.
Yeah,
her What's Your Story show is really good.
On I've been listening to Chris Van Vliet like whenever I have time at work, and you're right though, Dre. Like I pick and choose, and this week I listened to The Miz, and it was actually pretty good. We find out where Miz got his start before, the real world, and, where he was wrestling before he got to WWE, and, how...
Miz had a start before real world?
Yeah. He was in Deep South Wrestling. And then he was the top face in the company. He was their first heavyweight champion. He was their top merch seller, even. Like, man, I was learning all this shit about The Miz today. I was like, oh, damn. About just certain things about, like, his WrestleMania with Cena and, working with The Rock and, he just talks about like these newer guys, and it's interesting as hell. So yeah, I mean, definitely go on there, pick and choose, but like, you know, Chris, it seems like to get almost just about anybody he wants to interview. Like, I think he interviewed Stone Cold not too long ago.
Yeah,
you know,
that one I did listen to.
Yeah, it's just like, you know, he can just get just about anybody on there at this point. So
yeah, I mean, if you think about it, I mean, as far as, you know, wrestling interviews, he's probably the top guy out that's not a
sure.
WWE person as far when it comes to interviewing wrestlers. So yeah, I mean, he's established that relationship with WWE, if nothing else, and pretty much with wrestling as a whole, because I mean, he interviews obviously people outside of WWE as well.
Yeah. Guys, Chris Jericho's contract is up. He's another AEW superstar who, are we absolutely expecting him to jump ship? To not really jump ship because now he's a free agent, but to come over to WWE and, I mean, possibly wind down his career finally. A lot of speculations were everybody was expecting to see him on the first Raw of Netflix, and I thought that was kind of silly. I was like, you know, I think if they're going to bring Jericho back, I feel like they would do it at the Rumble. And I feel like we all can agree to that. If you're going to bring somebody like Jericho back, you do it at the Rumble.
Yeah.
He is still on the AEW roster page for whatever that's worth. Maybe nothing.
Oh.
Jericho, say what you will about Jericho. At various times, I have absolutely adored him.
Yeah.
But one of his biggest skills is that he always keeps you guessing. So he's playing this. He's having a blast, I'm sure, working the jerks, as the boys say. I think. Well, I guess I would expect where there's smoke, there's fire. Why wouldn't he come back for a limited schedule, mostly likely lucrative, and a big send off and Hall of Fame induction and whatever. But you never know with him. You know, he often will zig when you think he's going to zag, or he often will and Cody does this a lot too. He will say, "Oh, I'm never going to do X, Y, and Z," and then he does it. So he's always working. So who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not necessarily of the opinion that Chris Jericho has to return at the Rumble, or that the beginning of the new year would have necessarily been a bad time for him to come back. I mean, they built that up as a pretty big show, so I mean, there was reason why people were expecting it, but also their fault for gassing themselves up like that. Me, I'm just of the mindset that he's going to show up when he shows up, if he's going to show up. I don't think WWE necessarily needs him. I'm not opposed to him showing up, but I'm also not exactly looking forward to watching him wrestle because he's old. Even if he's lost weight and gotten in good shape, hopefully, still, it's just another. Ain't no way to sugarcoat it. It's still just another old guy coming back in the spot. And
I think that's fair.
For me, I really want and feel like 2026 for WWE really needs to be a year about the next generation. And that's not necessarily pushing the old guys out, but we definitely need to see a focus, in my opinion, on what the next generation of WWE superstars is going to be. And it seemed like that's what they were indicating to us was going to be the case with all these NXT call ups. So it seemed like they were signaling like that may be the route that they're going in 2026, at least is starting that process. So Jericho, to me, seems to run counter to that.
I agree with you.
He doesn't have a place, though.
But I think like he's a great guy for Javon Evans to beat. and it's a big deal, like, so I think you may be discounting the rub he could give to younger folks,
Right.
which isn't to say that other people couldn't do that also.
Right.
But, I think that's Jericho's value at this point.
Right.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that there's no place for Jericho in WWE now. Not absolutely not. And he does deserve to have, if this is going to be his final run or his farewell, he absolutely deserves that in WWE, and the fans deserve to give him his praise and say their goodbyes to him.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that I think they need to be very mindful of how they choose to use him in this final run. And like you said, he should be used as, to me, somebody to give the rub, give the boost, help elevate the next guys up. Not coming in to be, the main eventer.
And I feel like the WWE product is suited better to, what's the word I want? Cover up the warts, maybe, like in a way that AEW, AEW would throw him out there with Kenny Omega and he'd look like a chump,
Right.
Because Omega would run circles around him. Whereas I think WWE would be more cognizant of that, and I don't know, let's just say a Randy wouldn't, make him look silly in a way that, maybe if they threw him out there with Bandito or something, somebody that would just absolutely mop the floor with him, I feel like that wouldn't happen. Or it wouldn't happen as badly anyway in WWE. And Dre, you did mention it. He is pretty much washed. He does not have a whole lot left physically, I don't think, at this point. In pro wrestling, sometimes the physicality isn't the most important thing.
Right. I mean, like Jericho, like he pair him with a heel stable, make him just the mouthpiece. I mean, if he's not in the ring anymore, if he can just be a mouthpiece. I mean, I could see a role for that after he's done with his in-ring career. That'd be great. But, we'll see. Commentary, maybe. Maybe he'd be great on commentary. I don't know what Jericho's going to do after he's done. I guess just keep touring with his band. I heard that. Hey, let's get into the bracket. I got a good one for you guys. The Fantasy League bracket. It's been a while. I had some time. I'm like, what is next on our list here on the bracket? What haven't we done? Man, it's getting down to we're going to be going to I only got 2 more matches here. 2 or 3? 4? 2 more matches, and then we're going to be down to the next round. Finally. All right. In their peak, Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Brock Lesnar, a match we never got, but we almost had. Almost had, and Stone Cold took his ball and went home. We never got that match. Versus The Rock versus Shawn Michaels. And it sucks because these guys were kind of not in the company at the same time. I know Shawn was out with his back injury, and Rock would be going to Hollywood. So these guys would always miss windows, I guess you could say, and never had the opportunity to get a nice feud, nice one-on-one. Man, I wanna open the floor here. I mean, I think these are, because this and the last match we have on here, I think are just gonna be the 2 hardest ones. I don't know yet. I'm still thinking about this because I remember
I feel like Austin versus Lesnar is a pro wrestling match. And The Rock versus Shawn Michaels is a sports entertainment match.
I was thinking the same thing.
And honestly, I think I would go with Rock and Shawn.
Yeah.
Mostly because I think Lesnar's boring. I love Austin, but
right, but not enough.
Austin's out of these four, Austin's my favorite, but Brock's my least favorite. So I think I'll go in right down the middle and go with Rock and HBK.
Yeah, I kind of in agreement with you there. My thinking is the issue I see with Austin and versus Lesnar is Austin at his peak. His wrestling style kind of clashes with who I think peak Lesnar is, which for me, as I've stated before, to me, peak Lesnar is 2003, 2004 Brock Lesnar. Not the Beast Incarnate, not the 1 in 21-1 or whatever, not the guy that came back after UFC, not Suplex City Lesnar. To me, that was him at his worst.
Oh.
He wasn't a fraction of the wrestler that he was in his first run. So for me, first run Lesnar is peak Lesnar. And that style that he did, which was, again, much more versatile and all that, kind of clashes with what peak Stone Cold would be, which is post neck injury Stone Cold, where he had to change his style up to be a brawler. So that's where the issue falls. Because if you could put stunning Steve Austin in the ring with Brock Lesnar, you'd get a fucking wrestling clinic. You would get a wrestling clinic. But that's not peak Stone Cold. And that's where the problem lies. Whereas when you look at Rock and Shawn, both of them at their peak, whether you think Shawn's peak again is Attitude Era or Ruthless Aggression Era, pre-back injury or post-back injury, Shawn is Shawn. He's Mr. WrestleMania. He's the highlight. He's the main event. He's all that. And then you pair that up with the most electrifying man in sports entertainment, the promos themselves are going to be gold.
Yeah.
Those two just absolutely tearing into each other, just cooking on the mic. And then the match itself, we know what Shawn can do in the ring, and we know what Rock is capable of in the ring when you pair him with a wrestler of that caliber. Rock can absolutely keep up. So they would both sell for each other like a motherfucker. Like, you imagine how Rock would sell a Sweet Chin Music. He would sell that bitch for dead.
Like the way he would sell the stunner, he would just do like a flip, bounce off the ropes,
Right. Like that match would be phenomenal.
You know what? You guys
for me, it's Rock and HBK all the way.
Yeah, you guys got me pretty convinced here, because I do like the entertainment value of it. God damn if those two men don't fucking entertain the shit out of me in a match, and then put them together in a fucking match, Yeah. Because, I do recall a time when, like I said, we almost did get Lesnar and Stone Cold, and I was very excited at the idea of it happening.
It was. But during 2003 when Rock, when Austin was getting pushed to the moon. Vince wanted to do it on a random Monday Night Raw. In fact, speaking of, we just brought up Chris Van Vliet not too long ago. Austin talked about it on that show that episode briefly. But yeah, Austin, he's always maintained it throughout the years that him versus Brock Lesnar should have been a pay-per-view level match with a storyline and a build-up to it.
Absolutely.
Not something that you just pull out of the thin air on a random episode of Monday Night Raw with no build-up or anything, and that was why he walked away from it and took his ball and went home. Which he was 100% right on it.
Yeah, it was a good business decision on his part, because today this man is still the top merchandise selling, still doing business with the company, still making millions. Okay, awesome. Because I'm pretty convinced, man.
Imagine if we had gotten that match on Raw, it'd be something that, it would have made, huge for that episode of Raw. It would have been a big thing. but that match probably would not have lived up to what it could have been.
Oh my God, no.
Especially since they were pushing Brock Lesnar to the moon. More than likely, that means they would have had Lesnar basically squash Stone Cold. Is that what anybody would have wanted to see? Did Stone Cold get squashed by Lesnar?
Nah, man, we don't want that. No, I'm definitely convinced Rock versus HBK. You know, like, proceed.
Lesnar taking a stunner and then kicking out of it after one like it ain't shit.
All right. We are going to get into the Slammy Awards, and then we will get into a little bit of the Rumble and talk about injuries and stuff. So, 2025. What a hell of a year. Here's the thing with wrestling is so much shit happens in 1 year, you totally forget how much crap really goes on until you start digging through the year and you're like, oh crap, that's right, that happened. Oh shit, that happened. I forgot that guy was injured, or that guy came back, or, you know, that person was only champion for that short amount of time. Like, wrestling, just because we watch it on a week-to-week basis, you know, it just, time flies, you know. So I kind of enjoyed going back. You know, we have 11 categories this year, 11 awards to give out, more or less. We're just gonna go right through the list. I'm just gonna read them off, and then we'll start from the beginning. We do have male and female wrestler of the year. We have matches of the year, top 3 matches of the year, tag team of the year, return of the year, promo of the year, which is always my favorite category, biggest move for the company for the year. What else did I have here? Breakout Star of the Year. We have My Time Is Now Award, which has now been added. The Best Heel Face Turn of the Year. Biggest Swerve of the Year. And Disappointment. Doyle, what did you call it?
Not bad. I'm just disappointed.
Yeah, no, man, just Disappointed Award, which I saved for last because I thought that was rightfully so. I thought that was
all right.
I thought that was a good one. So, yeah, I mean, let's get right into this. This is it's pretty juicy. Let's get into I guess we'll put male and female. Well, do you guys want to just start with that right off the bat? I mean, let's go big. Or do you guys want to say
go big or go home?
Yeah, let's go big.
Hey, whatever.
Yeah, why not? So, man, if I'm gonna say, I have 3 here for the men's. I'm gonna tell you third, second, first. You know, okay, it was hard. It was pretty damn hard for me to pick this year, and I feel repetitive, I guess, because I was thinking about like what I picked last year, and I was like, nah, I can't be 2 years in a row, can it? But you know, third place, I'm putting Gunther up on there, man. I think Gunther has had a hell of a year. You know, especially how he wrapped it up. I mean, this man is one of the most hated people in the company right now. I mean, you know, as for fans hating him. I mean, this man's just getting booed all over. What a Swerve this year, pushing Gunther to the moon. Still, This man had very little losses this year. I mean, he lost against Jey Uso at WrestleMania, but he somehow, it felt like he bounced back, honestly, very quickly. And stayed pretty damn relevant all the way up without having a title on him. I mean, he got the world title back and then he lost it again, but he pretty much without the title still stayed pretty damn relevant. Second place, got CM Punk. What can I say about CM Punk? This is finally the year of Punk. Finally getting some title wins. And he had a great match at WrestleMania. He got to main event WrestleMania. He got to have his dream, fulfilled. We got to see him win a world title, then have it quickly snatched away. That was all great for the story. I loved it. I mean, his promos, his moments with his wife returning, just Punk's on the up and up. I feel like he's at 47 now, and he's our world champ. I couldn't be fucking happier right now for him. Coming back to the company and being put in the position he's been put in. So, and number one, and for me, honestly, it's John Cena. This man, I know, I'm not just saying it because his retirement, but this guy's been gone for quite some time, and we would see him once or twice a year, maybe. We were lucky if we even got a match out of him. So when we found out that he was having a retirement tour, kind of laid out all the dates, and in the very beginning, I forget how many dates it was, but I feel like a lot of us took it for granted because it went by so quick. I got to enjoy a lot of reignited feuds this year. I got to see him get in the ring with a bunch of wrestlers we didn't think he'd ever would. So some little, I guess you could say, some fantasy matches we get. He got to give the rub to the right wrestlers. He put over the right guys. I think his promos were pretty damn good this year. We had a shocking moment with Cena and his character. I don't know, it was great. I had a great year with Cena. I had fun, I should say. With this retirement tour, I had fun. And it's over. Hopefully we get another retirement tour of another wrestler, and I can have this fun again with, I don't know, AJ Styles or an Orton or somebody else when their retirement is winding down and we have the opportunity to maybe do something like this. Maybe not drag it out for a whole fucking year, but I don't know. But yeah, those are my three. So, Gunther, Punk, and Cena. Dre, who are your three male wrestlers of the year?
I don't have three because it was honestly difficult for me to choose that because I felt like this was it was hard to find somebody who I felt had a strong year throughout the entire year. I felt like everybody was really up and down throughout the year. Like Gunther started off the year as champion, then lost the title to Jey Uso at WrestleMania, was off TV for a while. Got the title back. It was pretty short order from Jey as world champion. Dropped it to Punk at SummerSlam. Then was off TV for a while. Then came back, for the My Time Is Now tournament. So there was a chunk of TV a good chunk of the year where Gunther wasn't there. Cody he was in and out for a lot of the year and up and down. Seth had a strong year going and then injured. We ain't seen him since. Drew, I could have given it to Drew if he had won the title last year. Because I felt like he was probably my runner up as far as rest of the year, because he, despite not being champion, he maintained relevance throughout the entire year and stayed in a lot of strong, high profile feuds, and his social media work has remained, as always, impeccable. And he really knows how to use that platform to keep himself and keep things interesting and relevant. So, like I said, for me, nobody really stood out as having a strong year from start to finish, except for the same person that you chose as your male wrestler of the year, and that's John Cena. Because pretty much 2025 was all about his farewell tour. Every appearance he made mattered. He had the most talked about moment of the first part of the year with this heel turn, even though the heel turn itself subsequently turned out to be a bit lackluster. But then he goes back to being babyface and gets everybody right back on the side, and then he finishes off the year having phenomenal matches with the likes of Cody and AJ and the feud with Dom, and then goes out and, arguably one of the biggest moments of the entire year, which is his farewell match. So, I don't think any other wrestler really dominated our consciousness as wrestling fans throughout the year as much as John Cena did with this farewell tour. So, for me, he's my male wrestler of the year. And I'll give an honorable mention also to CM Punk, because he also had a very strong year as well, and was one of the few people who was consistently there throughout the entire year as well. We didn't lose CM Punk to any type of injury. He did, like we said, won the world title at SummerSlam and has been our world champion since. Well, no, I take it back. No, he didn't. I forgot. He freaking lost the damn title to Seth. He won it at SummerSlam, dropped it, but got it back, and has been world champion since winning it back. But he's been there throughout the entire year. He's been consistent. He's been in top feuds, and his mic work has been pretty much unmatched by anybody in WWE throughout the entire year. I don't think he cut a single bad promo all year. So, like I said, my male wrestler of the year, John Cena, and I'll give an honorable mention to CM Punk.
Well, we pretty much have similar lists, just different order. So not a whole lot to add to some of these guys because we've discussed them at length already. But I guess I made a kind of a list of runner-ups. But if we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, I'll go with number 3. I will go with Mr. Rollins. Just consistent all year, always in the mix, always into something. Had a great heel turn. Started this faction that looked like it. And it still is kind of maybe going somewhere, but unfortunately it came at the expense of him being injured for how long we don't know yet. And of course, who could forget the what do they call it? The ruse of the century, right? So I thought Seth had a great year. Number 2 would be Cena. If that heel turn hadn't been so fucking shitty, he probably would have been my number 1. The year more or less revolved around him. He was, again, with the exception of that shitty heel turn, and some aspects of the heel turn, as we will get into, were really good. But just by overall, I think it was a pile of shit. But he was always a delight, and still is a delight. And I don't think it's going to sink in for a while how much we're going to miss this guy. But this one just seemed absolutely clear to me. I had to think of who else would be the runners-up, because for me, it was Drew. just fucking the most consistent, the most compelling performer in my eyes all year. High quality matches all the time, carried storylines, the social media stuff, the engagement, just everything, the star power, in-ring excellence, promos. For me, it was a no-brainer. Just far and away for me, the most entertaining guy on the TV all year was Drew.
Drew McIntyre. And now he's your WWE champion, right? Thank
Yeah, I mean, and all of that shit, and we have mentioned, like, he's going to start winning matches here at some
he
point.
has?
Right?
Yeah, he was.
And that really made the title win that much sweeter. And
yeah.
I hope it's not 6 weeks or whatever, but that remains to be seen.
For sure. Doyle,
you're right about that. I mean, that's kind of that's about the only thing that kept him from being my male wrestler of the year is the fact that he took way too many L's this year in 2025 and didn't finally get his big win until this year. At the beginning he started off this year with it. Like I said, if he'd have won the WWE Championship at the end of last year, I probably would have given him the nod for my male wrestler of the year. But
yeah, I mean, it's funny because I
thought, but accomplishments got to count for something,
right?
I just break it.
I thought he was just going to be fed to Cody again, just another loss, and I really didn't think on an episode of that they were going to do a title change. So I was very shocked. I was fucking sweet. I was like, I prayed for this, and it happened.
You can remember that for your most shocking moment of 2026. You have to wait a year, though.
Oh, yeah. That's so true, right?
It will probably be like, y'all remember Drew was actually champion at the beginning of the year? Oh, yeah.
Oh, that was this year? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That'd be like me telling you.
That match. It was great. Let me put that on the list. That was in 2023. Oh, never mind.
Yep.
Yeah, it is easy to lose track of when things happen.
Yeah, that'd be like me telling you, like, remember Kevin Owens was wrestling at the beginning of 2025?
Yeah.
Like, I had completely forgotten about it until I was, doing research for this. I was like, damn, KO was wrestling at the beginning of the year. Forgot
and damn
that
well
happened this year. Right. Had that hellified match with Cody at the Rumble.
Right. Well, do you guys remember how exciting like the Raw was last year? Remember the
Netflix premiere?
Yeah, we had The Rock.
Yeah, where that started off with The Rock.
We had Roman Reigns versus Solo Sikoa, for the Uba Fala. We had John Cena entered the Royal Rumble match. We had Ripley defeated Liv Morgan to reclaim the Women's World Title.
Seth and Phil. Did Seth and Phil have a match?
Jay Uso defeated Drew McIntyre. CM Punk defeated Seth Rollins. So yeah, I mean it was a good Raw. It was a good Raw last year. This time we had Stranger Things. Ooh. Ooh. And then you get people like me who goes, "What the fuck is Stranger Things?"
That was the week after the anniversary show. The anniversary show.
I think so. It was, yeah. But in the past few weeks we've had that, and then SmackDown actually was pretty good. The last SmackDown of the year. They had a few title changes. Yeah. So for pre-taped shows, do you guys feel like they kept it hush hush? Like you didn't get any spoilers?
Watched it live, so.
Right. But you guys didn't hear about any title changes beforehand?
They're in Europe, so I just stay off social media until I get home.
Yeah, I honestly didn't see any leaks of any, title changes, at these pre-taped shows, pre-taped events or whatever. Nothing big, no spoils. But, anyway, let's get into, Female Wrestler of the Year. Ba, 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 ba. My three, they kind of go hand in hand, is Rhea and Io. As not only as singles competitors, but now as a tag team. They put two main event wrestlers, and they put them as a tag team. So now they're this super strong tag team, because now they are the tag team champions. If they were doing a singles run this year, I'd probably put them, maybe first. But honestly, for first, it's Stephanie Vaquer. This girl's won the NXT and the North American Championship right before going to the main roster, and winning the Women's Championship inaugural crown jewel. She won she won the women's title and then the inaugural crown jewel championship as well. Some notable mentions, though, I guess you could say. I would say Naomi, got cut short because she got pregnant. And let's not forget Tiffany Stratton, also at 302 days as champion. So, but yeah, for Superstar of the Year for female, Stephanie Vaquer, quite fucking popular. Booker T definitely thinks so. Straight to the fucking main roster. And they literally strapped a rocket on her. No secondary titles. She went right to the top. And she's staying. And I could see her definitely retaining and staying champion till WrestleMania. I just think if maybe, there's a little language barrier, because her English isn't very well, so it makes her promos kind of hard, but still got the fans behind her. She's really good in that ring, so. Dre, female Superstar of the Year.
Okay, so apparently you copied my homework this time around.
Man.
I also had Stephanie Vaquer as my Women's Wrestler of the Year for pretty much the same reason. She, from the moment she came into the WWE fold at the beginning of 2025 on NXT, she's done nothing but dominate the whole way through. And she's one of the, not only that, but she's probably one of the few wrestlers who had a consistently strong year from start to finish. Like, I know you mentioned Stephanie Vaquer, Rhea and Io, who, definitely had strong 2025s, but they had a bit of a lull, I'm going to say, towards around the late summer and the fall, where there wasn't really much going on until, Creative decided to really ratchet up the women's tag division and, put Rio in that. Charlotte, she's been around the whole year, but she didn't really start to come around until they paired her up with Alexa Bliss. I would give honorable mentions to Naomi, who came damn close. I almost gave Naomi my Women's Wrestler of the Year anyway, even despite the fact that she had to walk away due to pregnancy, because I just think what she did this year was that strong. So, if I had to go with a runner-up, Naomi would definitely be my runner-up, because from the beginning of the year, with the reveal that, she took out Jade and how that played out, and her finding her character with the proceed with caution and all that, and then winning the Money in the Bank briefcase, cashing in at Evolution, she did in 6-7 months this year, probably more than some women have done all year who have been there from January to now. So I really almost gave it to her. I'll also give an honorable mention to Toni Storm. She's probably the best non-WWE women's performer in the business right now. She definitely had a strong year over in AEW from the feud she had with Mariah May. That was a very strong feud. Obviously, I wasn't watching it week to week, but I did tap in here and there and see it. Also want to give a honorable mention to JC Jane down at NXT.
Okay.
She is the current NXT Women's Champion, and she has really proved a lot of doubters wrong this year. Because when she became the NXT Women's Champion, a lot of people thought she was going to be one of those transitional champions. They're like, oh, they put the belt on her just so she can drop it to a bigger star or bigger name. And no, she has defended that title consistently. She's had good matches in defending that title and won and retained it. So she's done the work of establishing herself as a legitimate champion in NXT and shown and convinced people that she's not just, some transitional. She wasn't just keeping the belt warm for a Jordan Grace or keeping the belt warm for, a Kalani Jordan or somebody else of a bigger name to come and take the title off of her. Like, no, she's the champ. So, she deserves credit for that, for putting that work in and, establishing herself as a credible women's champion down at NXT. But start to finish, nobody had a better year than La Primera for everything that you mentioned yourself, Wayne, from immediate women's championship in NXT, come to the main roster, skyrocket to women's world champion, Crown Jewel becomes the Crown Jewel champion, and still going now. Still the women's world champion. So, yeah.
Yeah, dude, absolutely. Doyle, what's your opinion, man?
I don't usually write out jokes ahead of time here, but I did for this, and you guys kind of stole my thunder on it a little bit, but I'm going to do it anyway. Congratulations, Naomi. You're my Women's Wrestler of the Year for 2025. That's what I would be saying if she hadn't gotten pregnant. Yeah, so definitely shout out to Naomi. If she had remained working all year, nobody was more entertaining to me than her. Any of these top three of mine, you could have probably interchanged. They all had great years. For number three, I'm going to go with Stephanie Velociraptor. And frankly, I penalized her for being so new. She was fucking great. She's great. I feel like we've talked about her a lot on this show, which is fine. She deserves it. She also with number two on my list. They have a kind of just a uniqueness about them. They have it. They always talk about it. You can't teach it. It's hard to define it, but you know it when you see it. And she has it. She just has this effortless coolness. Like when she kind of does that little head turn and puts that finger up, she looks cool
Aura.
as fuck. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Immediate aura.
Right. And it just looks effortless. Some people can do it, but it looks like they're trying. She just looks like she's doing it. It comes natural. And I think I could say the same about number two, Io Sky. I think she's probably the best in-ring performer in the whole company, male or female. If she's on the card, if she's walking down the aisle, I think the worst case scenario is you're going to get a really good match. Like that's her floor is a really good match, and the ceiling, of course, is the match of the year. Unfortunately, wrestling's more than about just what happens in between the ropes, and that's why you know who it's going to be. You know who it's going to be. Number one, the man, Becky Lynch. Much kind of like what I said about Drew, just fucking outstanding promos, outstanding matches, made people better. the use of social media. She kind of took the best of the heel stuff Cena was doing, and the best stuff Drew was doing, and the best stuff WWF Hall of Famer Fat Hitler is doing, and kind of put it in a blender and served it up in a smoothie with a nice little shot of Jameson on the side. And yes, man, she just had a great. Every time she's on the screen, I'm not looking at the phone. You know what I mean? I think she's fucking fantastic. She's endlessly entertaining. Her heel turn has been fantastic. And I can't wait to see what she does next.
Cool.
Yeah, she definitely had a strong year. Definitely.
All right, guys. Let's get into tag teams. Tag team of the year. How do I put this? It was a lot harder this year to pick tag team of the year than it was last year.
Not a great tag team year.
No.
I'm gonna just interject here.
For tag teams.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm gonna just interject here and go ahead and get mine out the way.
Yeah.
I don't have a tag team of the year. I don't feel like any tag team had a strong enough year from start to finish to warrant an award. If you look on the men's side, SmackDown started off strong, and then the moment they put the belts on the Wyatt Six, that tag team division died. Raw tag team division been dead the whole year. Women's tag team division been pretty much dead up until the end of this year, where they finally kind of picked it back up. You could maybe try to make an argument for Rio because of how over and how popular that they are, and how their friendship stemmed from what started at the beginning of the year as a rivalry. But again, it hasn't been in existence long enough. So, I mean, at least as far as WWE goes, I don't think a tag team of the year exists. Mm-hmm. Now, if you go outside the WWE, maybe, but I don't watch outside of the WWE enough to make a choice of a non-WWE tag team. So
right.
That's just my 2 cents on this.
All right. Doyle, let's hear your 2 cents before I give mine, I guess.
This one, a lot of these categories, I thought there was like a clear number one, and then filling in honorable mentions and runners up and what have you was difficult. I totally agree with just about everything Dre said, that most tag teams either seemed like they were thrown together at the last second or didn't really do much of anything. But there was a tag team that I think not only kind of came out of nowhere, dominated all year, managed to make 2 big stars even bigger, and I would argue kind of finally solidified a division that we have all been kind of lamenting has been, drowned in its own mediocrity. And that's Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss.
Yes, I knew it. Fucking knew it. Yes. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I think me especially, but I think all of us have been, when are they going to figure this women's tag team division out? And I think they're the ones that finally turned the tide. And look at what's going on now. We got like 6 real women's tag teams.
Yeah.
And they all, and I think they finally figured out, which I've been saying since they started this, is like, this is a great way to cycle the main eventers out of the world title scene. Because if you just have Charlotte constantly going for the title, Rhea constantly going, you can't do that. You have to give them something else to do and something meaningful to do, and something they can do for months and months, if need be. And look, you've got Asuka in the tag division. You've got Rhea and Io in the tag division. You got Bayley in the tag division. So it's really, they really finally have this thing going in the right direction, I think. And the glue, I think, that has held it all together is Charlotte and Alexa.
Yeah, man, I 100% agree. They became a dominant tag team, winning at SummerSlam. They defeated like Chelsea Green and Alba Fire, Sol Ruka and Sarah. Zarya. Okay. They got the winning qualifying matches at WWE Evolution pay-per-view. They defeated,
you know what? And they're a fun tag team too.
Yeah, exactly. There's so many other female tag teams, but like, I agree, Doyle. Like for me, tag team of the year is Alexa and Charlotte because it's been just so boring elsewhere in the guys division.
Yeah,
I mean, really yes, I'm not saying we haven't had boring matches. I saying just as a tag team whole, like you can't. Not even the Judgment Day was even consistent this year as a tag team. You know, with guys getting injured or let go or whatever. But yeah, for me, man, and the biggest thing is like Charlotte was really well hated, and pairing her up with Alexa kind of
well, that's a great point.
Yeah, I mean that turned in. I mean, you got people actually like happy to see these two together. And the thing is, like on their own, you can put them back on their own at any time, and they're main eventers again. I love it. And you're right, Doyle. It's a great way to cycle out some of these main event stars, and as much as I'd rather see Io and Rhea going for a women's world title, but let's put them in the tag title division.
You can't do that all the time.
You can, and doing this too gets them also, for ones who aren't, a step closer to maybe being a Grand Slam champion. Now there's more titles to add to your accolades. You don't want to be maybe just a person who held just one title your entire career. Now you have a bunch of other titles you can go for. But yeah, dude, I absolutely agree. So you could also make a argument outside WWE, maybe the Hardy Boys, still giving it their all at their age, still on the active roster. In TNA, I think it is. So.
Well, I mean, they held the NXT titles this year.
Yeah, that too. That's fucking crazy.
So it's not crazy. They're not entirely outside of the umbrella.
Yeah, I will say I don't disagree with any arguments you made about Charlotte and Alexa, and where you did bring up an excellent point of the fact that if nothing else, probably their greatest accomplishment was making Charlotte likable. Mm-hmm. Again, because yes, they completely turned her character around with the fans, pairing her up with Alexa and that dynamic, and just Charlotte being more lighthearted and having fun. That she
was getting X-Pac heat, like she was getting we do not like you,
right? And then she started being a bit more open and vulnerable, and then like paired up with Alexa, started being more lighthearted and fun, and almost kind of making fun of herself at times, and what her character used to be, completely turned her all around. So yeah, the only reason why I didn't give it to them, like I said, was just time wise. They didn't come together really until like the second half of the year. So that was my only knock against it. Like, but other than that, y'all are both correct that they probably were the best tag team in WWE this year.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Sir David Attenborough. As you know, pro wrestling over the years has become incredibly overwhelming. We have Monday Night Raw at 3 hours, NXT at 2 hours, SmackDown at 2 hours, and some shit called Evolve and LFG. Let us not forget TNA and AEW. Also, then some off-the-wall start time PLE at 8 AM. Anyways, what I'm driving at is the time PCW puts in for you every day to cover all this bloody shit. So, the least you can do is head over to ProWrestlingTees.com and look up your favourite wrestling podcast and buy a goddamn shirt. You are a mark, aren't you? I'm wearing one right now. I showed some support and got some for friends and family. I can't wait for them to open their gifts and go, who the fuck is Podcast Championship Wrestling?
Okay, and we're back. All right, next category, we're going to do Return of the Year. Or maybe a wrestler who is returned from injury, returned from maybe a contract signing. You know, maybe they're from a different company. Or, you know, something else. Well, anyway, the three wrestlers I have on here, I'm going to go from least to most surprising. Matt Cardona. I brought him up. He was in the John Cena, My Time Is Now tournament. He was also mentioned in John Cena's Pipe Bomb this year, which I thought was kind of funny. The irony of him being mentioned in the Pipe Bomb and then him showing up a couple months later. But it's nice seeing him now working with his wife in the same company. I think he's been gone like 5-6 years now, and maybe it just seemed longer, but it's great seeing him back. Very surprised Brock Lesnar came back. Didn't see that coming. I don't think a lot of us saw that coming with all the allegations and all the other stuff we've possibly heard about Brock Lesnar, not knowing what is or is not true. But most of all, most surprising return for me, and I'm pretty sure you guys might have this person on your list too, but AJ Lee. Goddamn. Who would have thought AJ Lee would have ever come back to the company? And it's kind of funny because I think last year I gave this award to CM Punk. For Return of the Year. Yeah, AJ Lee, holy shit. And she got to have a match. Still in great shape. Hasn't missed a fucking step. So, Dre, you, what say you? Return of the Year.
Okay, so, yeah, this is definitely one of those categories where depends on how you, call it comeback of the year, how you view it. Whether it's how, your criteria of which one surprised you or shocked you the most, or who do you think?
I feel like we have a category for that.
It can be interpreted different ways, I think, because for a while I struggled with how to pick this one, and I was kind of thinking of like comeback, return, something like of that nature.
Right.
So my honorable mention does go to AJ Lee because, yeah, just that comeback or her return, that moment itself was, I think, out of all wrestlers who returned this year, be it the Matt Cardona, the Dolph Ziggler, Lesnar, or Alexa and Charlotte and all of them who returned this year, I think she probably had the biggest singular return moment. When from that promo that Punk cut, where I never put my hands on a woman. Thankfully, I got somebody who will, and then her music hit, and that fucking pop from that crowd was, you got to be, top 15, top 20, something. I think that pop was that big that it could be on somebody's countdown list of biggest pops. Quite possibly ever, but it was that big. And then seeing reactions from people online, like, people who watched AJ Lee when they were kids, and now they're young adults or whatever, and seeing him come back and seeing what that meant to those people. Like, I saw reactions of people literally crying at her return. Like, the moment her music hit, they burst into tears. They were that happy. Like, very few wrestlers can elicit that kind of emotion in a return. So that's definitely probably my runner-up for comeback of the year. I would also give a shout-out to Alexa Bliss at Royal Rumble because hers was unexpected. We did not think that we were getting an Alexa Bliss return. We knew she was healthy for a while because from, having had the kid, but we just didn't see anything. And there was no build up, no announcement, no nothing. And then her music hits and her return completely outshined Charlotte's return, which is the return that we knew was happening at the Rumble. And yet Alexa Bliss is the one who got the bigger pop. So shout out to Alexa Bliss. But my comeback of the year is not about who had the big pop or who had the shock or surprise. It's about the person who came back. And yes, their return was a big deal. Mm-hmm. But they came back and then performed at the top of their game afterwards. And that person is the man, Becky Lynch. She is my comeback of the year. From the moment she came back at WrestleMania to a, again, huge pop. And since then, she has shown that she hasn't missed a beat. She's been performing at the top of her game. As you mentioned before, Doyle, she's been elevating the next generation of talent from her working with Lyra Valkyria to putting over Maxine Dupree with the Intercontinental Championship. Just her holding that Intercontinental Championship, making that title seem like a big deal, making it relevant, and then doing some of her best character heel work with, parroting Donald Trump and all that stuff. Like, she didn't just come back for a moment and then fall off or disappear. She came back and kept it going and kept that energy throughout the entire year. So she's my back of the year for the return and the continued excellence from then on.
Awesome.
I totally forgot that she came back.
I did too for a minute until I watched a video of comebacks and I'm like, she did come back at WrestleMania.
Oh, shit.
That's pretty funny.
All right. Doyle, what do you got then on your list?
Well, I'm just going to go with what I had anyway. Number 3, I'm going to go with Dragunov. These were, I think we all approach this maybe a little differently. I kind of just went with people I was happiest to see back, I suppose. I don't know that there was I think we knew he was maybe cleared, but didn't know when he would pop up. So he was a nice surprise when he came up, and he's, I don't know that he's got too many tricks in his bag, but the one trick he does have is really good. I don't know that a Dragunov match is appropriate for all occasions, but when it is, they're really fun. So I'm glad to see him back. Number 2, I would go with Bronson Reed. He's just been he came, I was really, from when he got hurt, I guess in last year's War Games, or 2 years ago War Games, he was just starting to creep his way up there, and I was like, oh, God damn it, he's going to lose all his momentum. But boy, was I wrong. He came back like a fucking house of fire. And, he's still not, I wouldn't say he's not a viable world title contender yet, but he fucking laid the fucking dog shit out of Roman Reigns a couple times. Stole the man's shoes, so he managed to come back bigger than ever, and he's still ascended. So it was great to see him back, and I'm glad he's been doing well. God, we need to get him a new outfit. But other than that, I'm glad to see him back. But my comeback of the year is the Empress of Tomorrow, Asuka, who came back and immediately went right into the Queen of the Ring finals, almost won. She has been part of that revitalization of the women's tag, or the vitalization. Maybe you have to be vitalized before you can get revitalized, I suppose. So she's been a huge part of making the tag titles matter. She instantly inserts credibility into the women's division. She's, for my money, one of the best women's performers of all time. She was out for almost 2 years, a year and a half, I think.
13 months. Is how long she
was
was out.
Okay, not quite as long as I thought, but still, it was great to see her back. She's one of my favorites of all time. So I went with Asuka for comeback of the year.
That's a good choice. That's a solid
Because
one,
I can't give, and I can't give every award to Becky Lynch.
That's all right. I had your back on this one.
Sorry, I gave back some hardware coming up. It's all right.
All right. Best promo of the year. Best promo of the year. Yeah. This one I was excited for because we had 3 different ones. I want to start with Doyle's. What we can do is Doyle. If you want to listen to it first and then discuss it, we can do that.
Why don't I give you my honorable mentions or whatever, and then we can get into the winner. You want to do that?
Yeah, go for it.
So I'm going to give you more than 3. I just these are the ones that stuck out when I was rewatching some of these. So just in no particular order, and
right.
I imagine maybe one of these will be one of your winners, whatever. Naomi's pregnancy announcement, Stephanie Velociraptor's post-title promo, John Cena with 2, his first post-heel promo when it was like, we are in a toxic relationship, and the pipe bomb. Seth Rollins' pre-WrestleMania promo where he just shit all over Phil Brooks for like 10 minutes. It was wonderful. But without further ado, my number 1.
Yeah, here we go.
I wasn't beaten on Saturday. No, Lyra was beaten on Saturday. Oh, you don't believe me? No, you don't believe me? Well, one of us was taken to a hospital, and one of us went to their nice big bus, had a nice warm shower, drank a shot of tequila, and basked in their brilliance. Me! And, because even after everything that Lyra has done to me after she came out week after week and attacked my character, the person that I am, I still made her the best version of herself. I gave her the best match of her career. And in just 3 weeks of standing on the outskirts of my spotlight, she has never mattered more than she does right now in her entire life, and it is not even close. But when the bell rang after the match, I didn't hear defeat. No. What I heard was an alarm ringing in my ear, and I realized how much I had been manipulated, not just by Lyra, but by all of you. Do you want to know? Do you want to know why I walked away from this for almost a year? Because you asked me to. The last time that I won the world championship, I felt it. I heard the reaction. I saw all your comments online, and so I stepped away, because if I'm not here to win world championships, then why am I here? But hey, no, look, I've always been for the people. So whatever you want, because hey, man, I have you to thank for my career, right? You guys, you carried me on your shoulders into the main event of WrestleMania. You saw yourselves in me. I was you, you were me. We were in this together, right? But then something happened. I won, and you couldn't see yourselves in me anymore, because you can't recognize success, because all you know is failure.
Jeez.
And yeah, you hate what you cannot understand. You want to know something? When I was out, one of my friends, they asked me, they said, "Hey, do you miss it?" And I had a thought. I said, "Hey, no, I do. I miss being in the ring." But it's weird. I like myself more. And I didn't understand what I was saying, but now I do, because I wasn't captured by all of you. No, I didn't have to listen to you tell me who I am and what I'm about. I didn't have to listen to all of your lies. The same lies that I hear repeated from the one person that I had hoped for in this business. I didn't have to spin my wheels trying to prove myself that I wasn't what you say I am, but that all changes. Because from now on, whatever you say I am, I am. So I'm selfish? Yes, I am. I'm greedy? Yes, I am. I'm cutthroat? Yes, I am. And all those girls in the back that were happy I was gone, that thought it was safe because the fire had gone out of Becky Lynch, well, they're finally gonna realize what it's like to be held down by the man.
The one thing I'll say is, apparently the fire hasn't gone out of Becky Lynch.
No, it has not.
Didn't I just say I didn't realize she was making a comeback, and then my promo of the year is about how she was making a comeback. Drugs kill brain cells, kids. Don't let anybody tell you different. But that was a fucking masterclass, man. I mean, the way she totally, in one fell swoop, she totally reframes her character, kind of takes back that, when was the last time you heard Becky Hogan? Right. She kind of takes back that narrative, throws it in the fans' faces. This was just a masterclass. I think I've probably listened to this like 4 times today. I was trying to decide, and every fucking time I'm just like, God damn it. So for me, that was it, man. That was a masterclass right there.
Awesome. Dre, let's get into what your promo of the year is.
Okay, so I will admit it was hard to try to remember some standout promos, especially as many of them as we hear throughout the year. Mm-hmm. Probably need to do something like mark them shits in Discord or something. Just like Raw, June 13th, so-and-so and so-so, promo of the year nominee. So I can go back and find these joints at the end of the year. But so pretty much the way I came up with my promo of the year was which one stood out the most to me. And there were 2 moments that stood out the most from me. One was a promo exchange involving Doyle's recipient of promo of the year, Becky Lynch. And it was the promo exchange she had with Nikki Bella. And it stood out to me for that sick fucking burn that Becky gave to Nikki Bella when she mentioned something about her. I think Nikki Bella said something about Seth Rollins, and then Becky claps back. Don't bring up my hot husband or anything like that. Or we talk about something with John Cena or something like your ex, and then she goes, "Oh wait, you can't see him anymore," and it just got a huge right. That one I remember stuck out for me because, she burned the shit out of fucking Nikki Bella with that. But my promo of the year, the one that I remember that stuck with me the most, just for how fun it was, and even going back and listening to it again today, it was a damn good promo, and that would be CM Punk countering John Cena's pipe bomb promo, which was another good one. But CM Punk clapped back with his own Doctor of Punkonomics. Is that what he called it, I believe? Basically taking a page out of John Cena's book and giving his own rap diss to John Cena.
Yo, check it. This is basic punkonomics. Don't adjust your television set. Your eyes are working just right. This clown plagiarized my pipe bomb, so now I'm stealing word life. And you had to rip me off to cut your best promo, just to distract from the fact that we all see you move in slow-mo. Remember when he used to rap? Yeah, you deserve all the criticism. You're like a Timu Macklemore, but with Mackle-less rhythm. And he said I'm a problem. He called me a player hater. Let's be honest. John Cena's buried more talent than The Undertaker. That's why he's the champ. And he went and lost all his respects. But hey, John, I get it. I'd retire too if this place rehired my ex. If you never said your prayers, ate your vitamins, or fixed your bald spot, right, you wouldn't be a pro wrestler. You'd be a Boston Mall cop. But hey, he gets good movie roles, that much is a fact. But then we see Batista act, and we realize that John ain't that. Same shirt, same hat. Man, your persona state tragic. You're like a fish belly white Hulk Hogan, but somehow more problematic. Yo, when it comes to best in the world, I'm your vessel, because millions chant my name, and at you they chant, you can't wrestle. Get it in while you can. In 6 months, he'll be gone, and I'll still be here having fun. He won't have time for you little people anymore. He'll be busy washing underwears for James Gunn. Yeah, he's a superhero now. He works for DC, but no matter how hard you try, you'll still always be the Marine to me. And that's straight to DVD. Better find a PS3. I now understand you can't see me. It's a hell of a catchphrase, John, but now it's all done, because we all see you, and we're looking at a washed-up bum. 14 years ago today, I dropped a legendary pipe bomb, and you tried to make it all about you, because that's what you do, John. You're a leech. You're a phony. You're a fraud. You're an ass kiss. 17-time world champion, but ain't never been on my class. Before you go, John, there's one more wish to make. Tomorrow night, you're gonna lose to Kendrick, because, bitch, you're my Drake.
Absolutely cooked John in that fucking promo exchange. And the crowd was eating up every single line of it.
Yeah, dude. Oh, man. That was good. It was really good. And you know what, Dre, like, I would say honorable mention, I almost chose the John Cena pipe bomb. That was going to be mine, and it was just a coincidence that was the one that you chose, and I kind of laughed about it. But I was like, nah, that's my honorable mention. But then, like, there was one recently in December by Punk, and he was cutting a promo on Braun Breaker. Let's give it a listen.
If you saw War Games, you saw what happened to me, and I'm here to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, it hurt but it wasn't as painful as the last 2 weeks of me sitting my ass on my couch listening to Braun Breaker talk. Braun Breaker, you cross-eyed Neanderthal Nepo baby. You came out here in front of the world and with your full chest talked about how you were mad that I tried to end your career and break your neck in the war games. And I understand that brains don't exactly run in your family. But you didn't sign up for board games. You signed up for war, son. And congratulations, your team won. But you had the audacity to stand in the champ's ring and talk about how you're disappointed and how easy it was to beat CM Punk. You talk about how easy it was to pin my shoulders to the mat. You talk about how you want 2011 CM Punk. And I'm here to tell you, kid, you can't handle 2025 CM Punk without a lot of help from your friends. I'll try to make this short and sweet, kid. I've been here before many, many times, and you can ask Paul Heyman how many times he took a talent with a little bit of potential and gassed him up too much, too soon, only to watch him wilt under those bright, bright lights. And speaking of dimes, if you ever mention my wife's name again, this goes from business to personal faster than you can run, and it won't be about the belt anymore, because I'm going to rip your eyes out of your head and piss on your single-digit IQ brain. January 5. I would tell you to show up alone. I would challenge you to test yourself one-on-one against the best in the world, but I know you won't do it. And it's not because you don't have the balls. It's because you don't have the heart. You don't got the belief in yourself it takes to carry this company on your shoulders to wear this gold. So go ahead, Brawny. Bring Paul Heyman. Bring the Vision. Bring your mystery masked man. Bring the National Guard. Hell, I want you to call up your dumb father and his dumber brother Scott. Bring them to Brooklyn. You're going to need all hands on deck. You're going to need every bit of help you can get to stand a snowball's chance in hell of beating me for this title. When I win and when you wake up and you look around and you see that Paul Heyman has left you for the next big thing and Bronson Reed is reduced to doing TikToks with the YouTube scammer. And your mystery man never even showed his face because he's embarrassed to be involved. Well, the only two people that you're going to have left is Dumb and Dumber, your dad and his brother. And in real time, all three of you are going to find out that even with Steiner math, GTS equals 1, 2, 3. You lose, I win, and still heavyweight champion of the world, the best in the world. See.
And just the passion, you know, just not stumbling any words, just the way he just fucking delivers it. I just love it. I mean, can we all agree whenever you give CM Punk the fucking microphone, you just lean forward just a little bit and you want to hear what the fuck he has to say, right?
I mean, there's no.
Look,
go ahead.
I was just saying, I like him a lot more when I can't see him.
Obviously, I think it's pretty clear that Punk is probably the best person they have on the mic in the company right now.
Yeah,
I don't think he pretty much doesn't miss with any of his promos.
No,
and it stems from that. Yeah, it's that intensity, it's that passion that he brings to his promos, and he does it while also, oddly enough, being well spoken. Like, he's not cutting these promos just using, simple red meat, smooth brain sentences.
Mm-hmm.
And that, to me, that's the part that I appreciate most in his promos. That it's just, there's a level of intelligence mixed in with that passion that he brings with his promos.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think we also I gave him also last year promo. I forget which one, but I mean, it's either him or like, you know, Drew. I mean, heaven forbid if Kevin Owens was like on the roster right now, but he's on the injured roster, you know, like he'd be slaying it too. I mean, we do have some top tier guys on the mic. It's just that right now, the best in the world is just Punk right now.
Yeah, he does it, and Punk also he does it without relying, not a dig at The Rock or anybody else like that, but he does it without relying on repeating catchphrases week in and week out.
Yeah,
like every promo is its own, and it's its own unique thing. It's its own unique entity.
Oh yeah, I mean, I hate to do it,
which
but
is hard to do.
You know who is doing that though, and who's relying on strictly just catchphrases right now to get by? Jey Uso. Jey just comes out in the crowd, yeet, yeet. You know, Uso Penitentiary, the same fucking handful of catchphrases. Get in the ring, run it back, have a match. That's it, man. Like, think about their promos.
It's not just him.
Yeah, it's not just him either. There's guys who were like that. Like LA Knight, you could argue
No, I mean,
sometimes like that.
The song is it's just me, but it's not just him anymore.
Yeah, no. It's this fucking guy. I'm looking at the bigger picture, but yes, I get it. But yeah, it's just when you don't have to rely on catchphrases, Dre. You're absolutely right. Like when you can cut a promo like that, damn.
Yeah, and it's hard to do. Like
it is hard to do.
Now, granted, it's hard to come up with catchphrases that resonate with fans that they will stick with. So, I mean, once you get one, you know, I'm not going to fault any wrestler for latching on to it. You know, all the best have them.
Yeah,
you got to get every dime out of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, now
all of the best people have a catchphrase. Matter of fact, you can't name a top wrestler of all time and not associate some sort of statement.
At least one, if not multiple.
Right, exactly. So I mean, there's again, not taking a dig at catchphrases at all, you know, but Punk, what sets him apart from most others is that his promos don't rely on those.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he does come out and always say, it's great to be alive, and East ass fuck Louisiana.
Well, yeah.
You know, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, he does that. But he has started that. But, you know, that's just...
large, I agree.
Yeah, but, you know, something to warm up the crowd, you know, I'm not faulting him on that just to start off with. Because after that, he's getting into something different every time.
Yeah. From what The Miz said from his interview that I listened to, he says it takes about an average of 2 years for a catchphrase to, like, really, you know, catch, to really stick with you. He goes, you gotta go out there every night and you gotta just drive that word and shove it down their throat. He goes, when I came up with the I'm the Miz and I'm awesome, they did not like it. They did not think it was going to be a good idea, but I was like, no, it's good. Just how you say it, you know, and then he just kept pushing it down our throats, and like now that's one of the catchphrases. Like he can go, I'm the Miz, and like we finish it. They'll hold the mic up and we finish it. Exactly.
And everybody jumps on it.
Yeah. So
there's an element of truth to that. Yeah, I think so. Because part of it is it's not just the phrase itself, but how you say it, you know, the timing, and, you know, also getting yourself over as a character. Because, I mean, you can have a catchphrase, but if don't nobody like your ass, they don't give a shit what you're saying. You know, perfect example of it of seeing one evolve over time would be The Rock's "If You Smell What the Rock Is Cooking."
Yeah.
If you think from when he first started using it, where he would just say it at the end of a, you know, at the end of a promo, you know, say yada yada. If you smell what the Rock is cooking, or whatever, you know, and then eventually became part of his interesting. But it was, do you smell what the Rock is cooking? And he eventually tweaked it, you know, worked on it, amped it up a little bit more to where we finally got to, if you smell, where he finally got it there, you know, into its, you know, final form, more or less. So, yeah, that I would say probably not too far off if he says, 2 years. I don't know how long it took Hogan to get over with what you're going to do, or, Stone Cold's, that's the bottom line, But I think actually Stone Cold touched on that himself with in his Chris Van Vliet interview. He mentioned that he said that's the bottom line because Stone Cold said so long before it really did catch on with fans. He said he had used it before in promos, but didn't really. He used it in the past, I think he said, in his career, but wasn't really banking on it as being a catchphrase. But then when he did his King of the Ring promo, and obviously, when Austin 316 was born, he was talking about that promo. Like, I think he had come back to the arena after getting stitched up. They had told him what Michael Hayes had told him what Jake the Snake had said. So then he came up with the 316 line off the top, to counter that with Austin 316. And then he said he needed something to put a button on the promo, something to cap it off. And so he reached back to a line he used to say in the past was, and that's the bottom line. And then he just added it on there, and that's how it, went from there. But again, that's a line he used way back in the past that he brought forward with this new character that he had, and then it took off. So, yeah, Miz is probably not wrong at all, but he's saying 2 years or more to get something like that to really stick.
It's funny you mentioned Austin, and that because if you watch any WWE produced thing about Austin, they'll tell you that the next night the whole arena was filled with Austin 316 signs, and that is not what happened. Yeah, that is not how it happened. It took months for that to catch on. Maybe not much. It took at least a couple weeks for it to catch on. So it's a little revisionist history there, but yeah, you're absolutely right. And the overnight sensations rarely are overnight.
Hell no, you're absolutely right. Because it is crazy that they try to say that like people weren't there. Like, we were there, we saw it. Austin was still a heel when he said Austin 316.
Right.
He was still a heel going into the next year. Because the next year, after the King of the Ring, is when he faced Bret Hart at WrestleMania 13. When Bret was the face and Austin was the heel.
I mean, and Austin 316 was blasphemous also. Yeah.
So, like, it wasn't until it was months after the King of the Ring before Austin 316 really took off.
Yeah. I mean, how good or whether they're practicing or not, whatever. But I would imagine a majority of your audience is, in fact, Christian. And so, so something like Austin 316, you say your prayers, whatever, you think it matters. It doesn't matter. Austin 3, you'd think that would be highly offensive.
Yeah. But let Stone Cold tell it. Stone Cold says himself, though, that surprisingly to him, not as many religious people as you would think hated it. He said he got, pastors or, preachers and stuff told him, like, and you ain't upset about that Austin 316? No, man, I love that thing. Like, again, another thing he mentioned in the Chris Van Vliet interview. But yeah, he talked about that too, about the religious backlash he thought he was going to get to Austin 316, and it turned out not as bad as he thought it was going to be.
All right, guys, let's move on to the next one.
We're doing awards, aren't we?
Yeah, we are. You guys are getting off topic a little. Most impactful moment of the year for the company. We had last year when they joined TKO, when they joined Netflix. So for this year, the Netflix era began on the 6th of 2025. They were a Netflix deal worth $5 billion. So that's a hell of a deal. They moved to ESPN Plus in August of 2025. It would be a 5-year deal worth $1.6 billion. We saw the expansion of the 2-night main event of SummerSlam. So now SummerSlam going forward will now be 2 nights along with WrestleMania. And, well, I think they expanded to a 3-hour format for SmackDown, and it seems like that's something we're going to be keeping.
Until they switch it back again.
Yeah, until they switch it back again. TNA did an invasion angle with WWE. They did a nice partnership last year, which I think was awesome. The partnership that they did and the partnership they did with AAA. And, the last thing I have is just the way they handled John Cena's retirement tour. I feel like that was a big move for the company, because I think now other wrestlers who are up maybe in that age see how that was handled, and that just looks good, I guess, if you're able to go out on your own terms. So, but Dre, what do you have for most impactful moments of the year for the company? I know I just rattled off a whole bunch, but
yeah, well, most of the ones that you rattled off are the ones that popped into my head as far as impactful moments, but a lot of those probably we won't see real impact on till years down the line, like the 2-night SummerSlam. Any impact from that won't be known till for years. If it, for one, it has to prove itself to be successful, like a WrestleMania. Could they possibly expand it to the other shows like a Royal Rumble or Survivor Series or Money in the Bank or what have you? The SmackDown time shift, they flip that back and forth all the time. The acquisition of AAA, again, effects for that probably won't be seen for years in terms of how AAA grows. Does that become a bit of a farm system for talent to WWE from, Mexico and other, the Latin American countries? Do they start to get talent from that? Haven't done it yet, but it could be, or could that be something that WWE uses to give developing talent ring time that they would normally get on live shows on the road, but since the live schedule has been reduced, that itself could be considered an impactful, maybe not a moment, but a very impactful decision. WWE's decision to damn near all but eliminate live shows or significantly reduce the road schedule. That's something that I believe is definitely going to be felt. It's definitely going to have long-term effects. And one of the most prominent ones that we are starting to see already, but we'll probably see more and more until WWE sorts out some sort of alternative, is going to be the development of talent.
Mm-hmm.
That ring time that they would normally get doing house shows on the road all the time, where they could practice things, see what works with a live crowd, see what doesn't before they bring it to the main television, is basically lost because they don't have those house shows. So where do they get that ring time in? Where do they get those reps in? They're pretty much getting them in on air, on Raw and SmackDown. So all these flaws and imperfections and botches and all this stuff that we talk about and see and highlight, we're probably going to see more of it moving forward because of that. So, I could argue that would be probably one of the most impactful things that WWE's done all year. But what ultimately became my decision was the last thing you brought up, and that was John Cena's farewell tour.
Mm-hmm.
Not so much of a moment, because obviously it spanned the entire year, but I think that was probably the most impactful thing, just that entire farewell tour. Just because, how they handled it, and also what Cena did himself in the tour. Just from the way it's going to influence fans moving forward, when we know, especially since right now we're kind of in the middle of the twilight of a lot of wrestlers' careers. Fans, rightfully or wrongfully, are going to want to see these stars as they approach retirement get a treatment similar or something of that nature to what John Cena got. You already hear people talk about it now with AJ Styles, like, oh, this is AJ Styles last year. Is he going to get a farewell tour of some sort? What's Randy Orton's? Is he going to get a farewell tour? Is Rey Mysterio going to get a farewell tour? CM Punk, is he going to? Every wrestler that's about to retire, their retirement or how they go out from here forward is probably going to be compared to John Cena's, because it was such a unique, eventful moment throughout this entire year. Their final match is going to be compared to John Cena's farewell match. I think his farewell tour casts such a shadow over future wrestler retirements that I think, I'm not saying he's going to be the measuring stick, because I think some people there are definitely things that could be done better, but he will be a point of comparison for a lot of people moving forward, especially wrestlers of his generation that retire. And then also the fact that he went out and what he did with that Saturday Night Main Event and making it about the next generation, where all the matches featured current top stars facing the next generation. You know, the Bailey and the Sol Ruka, Cody versus Obafemi, him and Gunther, and the tag team matches. So, you know, I think that was probably the most impactful thing that occurred in WWE all year. For my money.
It's funny you mentioned the house shows, because we have talked about that quite a bit, and you're absolutely right. But what's going on right now? They're doing house shows, and what else is going on right now? People are getting injured. It's kind of like, it's a kind of a lose-lose, you know, you miss those reps in front of the live audience. You know, I think I've used the analogy like, you know, it's one thing to sit and hit free throws in a gym, empty gym. It's a whole other thing to do it in front of 20,000 people, right? So it's a trade-off. But I think you're absolutely. I think the benefits outweigh the risks, but that's neither here nor there. This one, you guys pretty much said everything that I would have nominated or whatever, but I settled on as my winner. And Dre, you said it. This is a thing we may not know the outcome of for years, but I think that the acquisition of AAA is going to be the thing that is going to have the farthest reaching consequences of this year. I think it immediately, expanded the international footprint. The world in world wrestling entertainment is often, I think, kind of takes a back seat. And now it's kind of their first, well, I guess they had NXT Europe for a little while, right? But this is like their first, or one of their first real forays into a foreign territory, if you will. It immediately opens up, new storytelling opportunities, kind of reshapes the talent pool a little bit. So I think that's the thing that's going to, besides, I think in 10, 20 years, we will remember the Cena retirement tour. But I think the thing that's going to change the business more is the acquisition of AAA.
Yeah, that's a very good one. I kind of think it can be lumped in as well, but I'll ask you what you think, Doyle. Would you kind of bundle in WWE's partnership with TNA into that as well, given that they started the partnership, we've seen how it's gone, and since then they've re-upped it. So they've decided, we're going to continue this going forward, and there's been speculation that WWE may acquire TNA at some point.
Is that the case?
I don't know. It's still been rumored. I don't know that.
I thought with TNA's TNA has a new TV deal, right? I think.
They're working on it. I think they're supposed to be getting one with, what is it?
It's an AMC.
AMC. Yeah. I think that's still in the works. I don't think it's been officially announced yet, but
I think it is, and I believe they're having AJ Styles on their first episode.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I heard that.
Okay. Well. Okay. Now that you mention that. Oh, you know what? I think it's on right now. As a matter of fact.
It's on right now.
AJ Styles starts. Damn, that shit is airing right now. So okay.
Oh, AJ Styles is literally on the TV right now.
Look at that.
Okay.
So yeah. Well, that throws what I was about to say out the window, which was with this new partnership. I think their new TV deal. I think the partnership has ended, but apparently that is not the case.
The partnership is continuing. I think, like I said, people had speculated that they might buy, they might buy TNA or acquire TNA. If not, maybe not in the same way that they did AAA, because I think they just wholesale acquired AAA, or did they just acquire controlling interest?
I think controlling interest, but that's not the same as what's going on with TNA. And to answer your question, I think the AAA thing is a bigger deal. One, because there's more, they own a piece of the company now, whereas I don't think that's the case with TNA. But a lot of the TNA people are like just ex-WWE people, whereas the AAA thing is international. Almost nobody there has ever had anything to do with WWE. And moreover, the audience hardly knows any of those people either. So you get this whole roster full of new talents, and they can pick and choose and say, hey, we really like this guy, we really like that girl. And they can almost do whatever they want with them because the American audience is either hasn't seen them at all or has barely seen them.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So just because of the internationality of it, I think the AAA is a bigger deal than the TNA thing. I feel like I've seen half of the TNA roster in WWE at some point.
Sure. Yeah, I think that's a very valid point. And, if this turns out to be extremely successful for them with TNA, then we could potentially see WWE looking to, say, the Japan market and see about trying to acquire one of their smaller companies or something like that.
Yeah,
like
Stardom, that would be...
like Stardom or something like that. Although Japan operates a lot differently, so I don't even know if it would be possible for them to do that.
Yeah.
I think
Japan ever since they closed NXT Europe, they've been saying they were going to go back there, and they haven't done that yet. But I think the AAA thing is laying the groundwork for, a UK thing and maybe a Canada thing. Maybe Canada gets its own thing. I don't know. And maybe a Japan thing and an India thing. Apparently, is a growing market.
Yeah, I remember years ago.
So
I remember years ago there was talk that they wanted to establish like NXT branches throughout the world, like an NXT Europe or NXT South America,
right.
And that seems to have fallen apart, or at the very least evolved into, instead of establishing their own NXT.
I mean, Jesus, Australia! Look how many Australians we've got all of a sudden. You know what I mean? I think a branch in Australia would be fucking gangbusters.
Yeah, like I think they're evolving their plan as far as, rather than trying to establish like NXT here, NXT there, NXT here or there, they'll just reach into those territories where there's already a promotion in existence and probably acquire that.
Bring it into the fold. Yeah.
Right. And just bring it under the WWE TKO umbrella and just use them that way. So yeah, there's definitely.
I think that's better because even though I know that the checks the performers are receiving are coming from the same place, there's something more magical, if you will, when it's NXT versus AAA than it would be NXT versus NXT Mexico. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and
it's a total semantic thing, but it just feels more like an actual invasion rather than something that's a storyline,
Yeah, and I think from a business and PR standpoint, it probably works better if WWE comes in and, maybe acquires or just merges with a company and brings them in under the umbrella, because that company still gets to exist.
Right. And you've already established lore.
Right, they're already established. They already have their fan base, rather than you trying to come in here and start up a whole new thing and try to build it up and hope that just, the name WWE is enough to build up this new NXT and that NXT and this NXT versus.
No, you're absolutely right.
Right, you're already there. You're established like, hey, we're going to partner with you some people might be resistant to the whole purchasing thing because that wasn't the case when they first announced the AAA buyout. Or acquisition. Some people initially were a bit resistant to it, like, are they just going to come in here and just take over and just do everything, yada yada? Which, so far, they have seemed to have struck a good balance between the two. Pretty much all AAA shows now have some WWE talent there, but it seems to be working in a way that's drawing more eyes to the AAA product and building up the AAA product as opposed to taking it over and making the AAA product seem inferior to WWE.
No, I agree. Yeah, and I mean, they're not coming over and the WWE talent wins every single match.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. And
I think they're integrating well, and they're not doing it with every single match either. They're still running AAA versus AAA talent.
Yep.
And maybe 2 or 3 of the matches are cross promotion or whatever. So
exactly.
they're actually for once showing a little restraint, which is not always.
And if a title does go on a WWE talent, it's warranted, it's deserved, and it makes storyline sense. Like Dominic Mysterio becoming a AAA Mega Champion because he was over. I was going to say
that's a perfect example. That championship is infinitely more important than it was, this time last year.
Right. Or, on the flip side of that, we need mega heels to have a certain title, so they take the Canadians, Chelsea Green and Ethan Page, and made them the AAA mixed champions, super heels. So, whenever the, homegrown AAA talent wins those back, it'll be a great moment for them. So they seem to be striking a good balance. I think the Undertaker's really heavily involved in, I guess, some of the booking down at AAA from what I've heard. So if Undertaker's putting in work down there, props to him for what he's doing.
All right, guys, let's move it along. We're only halfway through here. Yeah, we got to move it along. Breakout Star of the Year. I have some notable mentions: Jacob Fatu, Dominic Mysterio, Tiffany Stratton, but Stephanie Vaquer. But for me, for a guy who's been the most breakout star of the year, who really hasn't even won a world title yet, Braun Breaker. Man, this guy gone right to the main roster. Well, not right to the main roster, but like when he got to the main roster finally, he got put into a top tier stable. Got made into a top tier stable, and if it wasn't for Seth's injury, I don't think he would be where he is now. And we'll talk about it later, but this guy has all the potential. I definitely see him within the next year being world heavyweight champion for sure. I'd bet $1 on that for sure. Yeah. Dre, who do you have for Breakout Star of the Year?
Yes, it seemed like that Braun Breaker would be the obvious choice for Breakout Star of the Year, obviously because of the year that he had. However, I chose somebody different, and my choice for Breakout Star of the Year, gonna seem a bit unconventional, but just follow me on this. My Breakout Star of the Year was Naomi. Is she a rookie? Nope. She's a veteran, but probably one of the most senior veterans on the women's roster right now. But the reason why she was my Breakout Star of the Year is because of all the years she's been with WWE, even the time away on TNA, this past year, 2025, was the year when Naomi seemed to bring it all together and finally reach what you could deem as her quote-unquote final form. Mm-hmm. She did the best character work this year. She became, and with the Money in the Bank win and the cash in and becoming women's world champion, she finally established herself as a true, undeniable, top-tier women's wrestler on the roster. She's been women's champion before. She was, I think, was SmackDown champion in the past. But all of those, it came at a time where it didn't hit. It didn't resonate. She won the title, but she didn't feel like a top star. But this year, she combined the character work, even at the beginning of the year with the ass whooping she took from Jade Cargill. All of that, it finally came together, and she made it work and found a character that resonated with fans, that got them invested in her, got them behind her, and took it to the top of the women's division and solidified herself there in a permanent way. Because and then the cherry on top of her, not planned, but her getting pregnant and having to step away. And we mentioned it when we were talking about promos of the year. That promo that she cut when she had to walk away, and how the fans were invested. So once she comes back, it ain't going to be like the times in the past where Naomi's came back, where she came back from an injury and it's like, oh, hey, Naomi's back. Yeah, okay. No, when she comes back this time, she's coming back like the top main event level star that she has finally become and that she rightfully is. She's coming back straight at the top. So to me, this was a breakout year from her, but finally breaking out from being just another woman on the roster to being the woman on the roster.
Sweet.
And she was still healing it up during that pregnancy promo, which is kind of
still
which is not light work.
Right, still doing heel work, but fans were like, "We're still here for it," and she's still healing it up on on social media from the crib.
Social, yeah. She's a treasure. I mean, we've all kind of got a similar list here, so I'll just kind of run through this real quick. Some runners up, I would include Tiffy, Maxine Dupree, both Bronze, Breaker and Reed, Chelsea Green. I promise I'm not going to hijack and go back into AAA talk again, but I mean, talk about somebody that burst on the American scene out of nowhere. El Grande Americano. I mean, what else could you say? Oh, yes, and absolutely. It was going to be the next one, Mr. Iguana, yes. But the winner, and this is where I would put Stephanie Vestibule as my breakout star. Just came in and rocked, and probably would have been the woman of the year if I hadn't punished her for being so new and not wanting to give breakout and performer of the year to the same person. So it's strictly just to not give all the awards to the same people, even though I think I did that inadvertently anyway. But I'm going to go with her for breakout because nobody had a quicker rise than she did, and nobody has in a long time.
Valid, completely valid. I mean, between Wrestler of the Year, my female Wrestler of the Year, and Breakout Star of the Year, I originally had Naomi as my wrestler and Stephanie Vaquer as my breakout, and I flipped them at the last minute. So, I mean, I get it.
Yeah, I say that, and then I realized I gave one person 3 awards, but it's neither here nor there. We'll get to that. Moving on.
Just call it luck of the Irish, I guess.
Lucky guess.
Yeah. You know what, Dre? I'll let you introduce this new award, the My Time Is Now award.
Okay, so yeah, this one, a new award we'll be introducing, basically in the spirit of John Cena's retirement and the spirit of how he conducted the Saturday Night Main Event and his farewell match, where he devoted it to the next generation of stars. I figured we could, while we are looking back on the year, we can also take a moment to look forward. So the My Time Is Now award is dedicated to the superstar that we think is going to have the breakout year or the biggest year moving forward in the next year. So that would be this year, 2026. So for this award, my choice, even though recent events have kind of almost maybe given me a little bit of pause, I'm still going to go with Dirty Dominic Mysterio. I still think 2026 is going to be a huge year for him. I still think there's a strong chance he becomes a world champion at some point in this year. Not the AAA champion or Intercontinental, but actual world heavyweight champion. It may be later on in this year, and I could have very easily given this My Time award to Braun Breaker, who I was also considering it to, because I think it's pretty clear that he's going to be world champion at some point this year.
Yeah.
I think we can all pretty much pencil that in. So I considered it for him, but I'm still going to stick with Dirty Dominic Mysterio. I think this year, as much as he's already grown and risen, I think 2026 Dom takes it to another level.
Dude, I absolutely agree, man. I mean, the man's pretty much, he's right under, like, he's right above mid-card, right underneath main eventer. Like, I mean, the man was the last guy to beat John Cena for a title. I mean, what a rub, right? I mean, jeez. Unfortunately, I think he's out right now with a shoulder injury, correct?
He is nursing a shoulder injury, yes, but apparently it can't be that severe because they haven't taken either belt off of him.
I know. That's what I was worried about. For what I have for the My Time Is Now award is, and you know what? He recently got called up from NXT, and I'm very excited. Obafemi, man. Just thinking about this dude, when we saw him versus Cody Rhodes, we got a small taste of that, and we got it cut short. But I was invested, and I'm thinking, oh my god, like I want to see this guy. I want to see this guy face Brock Lesnar before Brock retires. You know, like we're getting to that point too with like guys like Brock. Like, oh, this guy's gonna retire soon. Like, I want to see this NXT guy face him soon, fast, quick. You know, we're still cooking on Gunther and Brock Lesnar. We still want that, and I'm hungry for, you know, fucking Obafemi and Brock Lesnar. But no, I think that guy's got a bright future. I mean, he literally he took the NXT title and vacated himself because he has bigger plans. I mean, basically, he was just like, I'm done here. Like, I did everything I could. Like, I'm gonna go somewhere where I can do more. And, you know, they had another guy that was very similar that way, Keith Lee. And they just handled him wrong, unfortunately. But he was another guy who had that kind of momentum coming to the main roster. And then he was just poorly booked, terrible music, changed his gear, changed his nickname. Now he's the Man Cat or Man... whatever.
Bearcat.
Bearcat.
He also he had a bad combination of horrible booking and he was always injured.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sucked. But like I just hope like somebody like Obafemi that doesn't happen to, like he doesn't get booked wrong. And I'm just hoping like you guys handled him well in NXT, and like we got some people from the main roster don't know who he is. Like there's some people who had no idea who he was. So we got to see that with Cody and him. So now I'm hoping, I don't know what roster I want him to even go on. Maybe SmackDown. Yeah. So, yeah.
Someone tells me he might end up on Raw.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Yeah, Doyle, who do you got?
I think I interpreted this slightly differently. I was kind of picturing this as like trying to predict who might be breakout or come back next year. So I'll tell you who I considered and who I settled on. So like people I think would be eligible for comeback or not. I'm sorry, for breakout next year. I mean all the call ups. You know, Trick, J-Vod, Obafemi, Jordan Grace. You know, I think any one of them could be the breakout star next year. And I think we got a couple of exciting people hopefully coming back any day now, in Bianca and Chad Gable and Kevin Owens. I think Carmelo Hayes is a guy that's already up and already been around a little bit, but I think is hopefully in a position to maybe take a big step forward next year. But the person I settled on is somebody who I thought might be in line for breakout star at the beginning of this year, and hopefully maybe this year. And that's Julia. In my mind, anyway, I think of her and Stephanie Velcro at the same time, because they both signed around the same time. They were both these, international sensations coming in, and it's kind of like when there's a quarterback goes 1 and 2, in the draft, and you kind of compare the two of them for the rest of their career. I thought Julia was going to have the year that Stephanie Velociraptor had. I thought she was going to be the one that was just lit the world on fire. Not that I didn't think Stephanie was capable and/or could do it. I just thought Julia had more star power. I thought her star was going to burn brighter, and it, for whatever reason, didn't quite happen that way. But I still believe in her very much, and I think she's going to have a huge year in 2026. So I'm going to go with Julia for this award.
Sweet. Julia. Yeah. This swap in between her and Chelsea with the United States title, I hopefully this time around with the title, she's a little bit more of a better title run. She defends it a little bit more, has a few more matches, gets on TV more. But next on our list here of awards is Best Heel or Face Turn of the Year. I have a honorable mention, and I have my number one pick. My honorable mention is Naomi, turning heel after, what was that, the Elimination Chamber, and we found out she was the one who took Jade out for so long and doing it right in front of Bianca, Jade beating down on Naomi. Just the heel turn, just the whole character change for her. I thought it was great. And this one I think is probably just a given is John Cena's heel turn. Now, how it was handled later, there's stuff to say about that, but I and many other people I never thought we'd ever see the day that John Cena would ever become heel again. But then again, within that last year, I never thought I'd see John Cena win the 17th time world champion. He did, right? I never thought I'd see John Cena win the Intercontinental title and become a Grand Slam champion, but he did. I never thought I'd see John Cena turn heel before, he retired, but he did. I never thought we'd see him versus CM Punk or AJ Styles ever again, but we fucking did. All within a year. He did all that. They literally, utilized everything they could with Cena for that year. But yeah, that heel turn, now blaming everything on us, the fans. It's our fault, the changing of his music, and not his music, but his entrance. Instead of having all the colorful lights and the video package in the background, it was just a black screen. It just said John Cena, and he came out with a black shirt. I don't know. I thought it was clever. I thought it was clever, the timing, it's so close to the end of his career, and you're going to try to sneak this shit in, and then, the whole time I'm thinking, he's not going to retire as a heel, right? They're going to somehow have to turn it back, right? Turn him back into Super Cena. And, they did. But, yeah, it's just, honestly, guys, I didn't see it coming. Maybe you guys did, but I didn't. Dre, best heel face turn for you of the year.
Yeah, I mean, my top heel turn of the year was John Cena as well. I mean, for what it, like I said, setting aside everything that happened afterwards, the moment itself was probably one of the most talked about heel turns, if not the most talked about heel turn for a wrestler, probably since Hulk Hogan.
Yeah,
I think the moment was that big. I mean, it got media coverage outside of WWE. It got mainstream media coverage. John Cena turned heel. Like, it was that big of a moment. And for, like I said, regardless of how people feel about how it happened or what happened afterwards, the moment itself was huge.
Mm-hmm.
The moment itself caught everybody off guard. It shocked everybody, surprised everybody. Because remember, the storyline going in was about Cody Rhodes. It was The Rock saying, Cody, I want your soul, and yada, yada. And we thought that's where it was going to be. You know, and then Cody, that's where all our attention was on. You know, how's Cody going to respond to The Rock? And then Cody tells Rock, you know, Rock, go fuck yourself. And Cena's all, yeah. And then hugs John. Rock gives the cutthroat. We see Cena's face turn. Like, that moment resonated so hard that WWE recreated it when Liv Morgan came back. And when she came back and she jumped on Cena and hugged him, and then her face turned. What did everybody say? She's doing the Cena heel turn thing. Even though it wasn't a heel turn, but she did the Cena heel turn thing. That's a moment that's going to be recreated in wrestling again. Like, we're going to see that moment happen again with somebody. Mm-hmm. Or somebody hugging somebody or something, and their face changes. And whenever we see that, we're immediately going to think, that's the Cena heel turn. That is a moment that is now part of our vernacular in wrestling now.
It's a meme.
Exactly.
You know, it's what the hell's the other thing? Why can't I think of it? A GIF. GIF.
However you pronounce it, yeah. I was going to say, but I would compare it to, like, you know, for those who are familiar with anime, you know, if you mention the Akira slide, everybody knows what that is. People immediately know what that is. It is a moment from the anime movie Akira, which came out in, I think, 1989. Guy slides a motorcycle a certain way. You look it up, and you can see literally videos of how many times that moment has been recreated in pop culture, in animation, live action, or whatever. The Akira slide, how much it's been recreated since then. The Cena heel turn could potentially have that kind of pop culture impact. Mm-hmm. I would be surprised if you see it happen like in a movie. If somebody references it in a movie. Maybe not a drama, but like a comedy, like friends hug and you see a close up on the face and the face turns. Like, it's that kind of moment. So I think hands down, that was the heel / face turn of the year. No question.
Doyle.
And I got 3 heel turns. Seth's heel turn at WrestleMania. Kind of saw it coming, but I thought it was great. It was really fun. Indoor, I guess you could throw in Heyman turning more heel. I guess Heyman went into that as a face, didn't he? So I guess Heyman turns heel too. So double turn with the both of them. That was a lot of fun. Second one, yeah, I mean, I think we don't need to talk much more about the Cena heel turn, which would be number one if it just wasn't so bad, to result in, you know, whatever. But I mean, this is going to be talked about forever, you know, historical, you know, in 10, 20 years when we're talking about the most iconic heel turns of all time, you know, there'll be the Hogan in the NWO, you know, there'll be the Rockers in the barbershop, there'll be Seth turning on the Shield, and there'll be John Cena. So yeah, definitely, totally memorable. But my top heel turn is for the trifecta. The man, Becky Lynch. It kind of came out of nowhere, but it totally transformed her character, which as we've discussed, I think quite at length, I really, really enjoyed. So I think it was a good combination of surprising, needed, really well done, and led to a really good run with the character. So for me, that was my favorite turn of the year, even though absolutely 100%, the John Cena turn is by far the most monumental and the thing we'll be talking about for the time infinitum. But in the moment, I thought the Becky thing was more fun.
Yeah. Cool. All right, guys, moving on. Biggest swerve of the year. For me, I mean, we mentioned some other things, you know, we literally just mentioned the Cena heel turn, but, like, for me, some swerves was, like, I was very shocked that they decided, okay, we're definitely doing SummerSlam 2 nights, for sure. Like, I was surprised. I didn't think that was going to be a thing. I thought WrestleMania was going to be the only one that was going to be 2 nights. And, you know, that, I didn't see us, well, going to ESPN so quick, so fast. Like, I think I didn't even have a chance to decide. Like, it just happened. Like, and the newest thing was finding out that we're going to be having WrestleMania in Saudi Arabia next year. Yeah, like, so for me, that was a big swerve. I didn't see that coming. You know, I didn't see any of that. It just hit me out of nowhere this year. I'm sure there's plenty of other ones, but a lot of this stuff, business moves, we can kind of see coming, or storylines we can kind of see coming. But as for stuff that's been going on in the company, that was for me a swerve. Dre, do you have any swerves like mine, or are they probably a little different?
None of mine are business related.
Right.
I've got 2 for Swerve of the Year. My honorable mention would be for Swerve of the Year was Seth Rollins and his Money in the Bank cash in at SummerSlam when he revealed that he was in fact not injured.
Oh, yes, dude.
Proceeded to cash in the Money in the Bank on CM Punk right after he had just won it.
Mm-hmm.
It was one of those things that we kind of speculated could happen, but then they really put the work in to kind of turn down the flames on that, or turn down the heat on that, and then just to actually do it. But because we had kind of speculated that it could be that, and a lot of people really strongly believed it, it only gets honorable mention from me. So my actual swerve of the year happened at Elimination Chamber earlier this year, and that was when we found out who took out Jade Cargill. Now, yes, there had been some speculation that it was Naomi. There were those people out there who were like, what if Naomi did it? What if Naomi did it? But the real sell was on that it was Liv Morgan. And really what made it work for me was the execution of the moment itself. It's Naomi and Liv, only 2 in the ring at the moment. Jade Cargill's music hits. She comes out freaking jacked to all bloody hell, looking like $1,000,000, walking to that ring with absolute purpose. No stopping to, profile for the fans or anything like that. Just nope. Straight beeline walking to the ring. Liv Morgan's in there looking terrified. Naomi's just sitting there like, what? And then Jade goes into that ring, says, I know it was you. Liv looks like she's about to have a freaking heart attack. And then, boom, Jade goes in on Naomi and just starts beating the living dog shit out of Naomi right in front of Bianca Belair, who was in the cage and can't do shit about it. Just starts whooping her ass. and Bianca's in there just losing it in the cage. Like, Bianca's work in that cage is really what helps take it to the next level. Because the fact that she is just going crazy in that cage about it and can't do anything. And then Jade just absolutely beats the living hell out of Naomi. And that set the tone for Naomi's heel turn. It was one of the most well executed reveals of an attacker that we've had in a long time. A lot of time we were like, who did this? Who did this? And we get the reveal and it's like, oh, okay. You know, it's just a reveal. There's nothing special about it. It doesn't resonate. It doesn't stick with you. But this one, it stuck. It stuck like a motherfucker. So this was my swerve of the year. The fact that it was Naomi and not Liv.
Nice. Yeah, dude, that was a hell of a swerve, too. And it's crazy because that's happened all the way in the beginning of the year. And you have all that time and you forget about it.
Let the record reflect that I immediately said it was Naomi.
Yeah. Yeah, so what was yours?
Yeah, like I said, I acknowledge that there were the people out there who were like, what if it's Naomi? There were those people out there.
Yeah, they didn't fool me. I did get fooled, though. I did not consider heel or face turns for this because we have our own category for that. So I got 2 cash-ins, 2 title wins, and then a winner. The title wins were the Hardys winning the NXT. I almost said TNA because it's on the TV. The NXT titles. I didn't see that coming. It's kind of cool to see them back on WWE television. And Maxine Dupree winning the IC title. That was, didn't think they would actually do it.
That was a real moment.
And then 2 cash-ins it was odd that we got 2 women's cash-ins in the same year, but both of them were great. Tiffy and Naomi's cash-ins were both really well done. I think Tiffy's maybe a little more predictable, but still, those were both well done. But my winner
happened at the beginning of the year. Tiffy's.
Yeah, right at the beginning.
That was
just barely made it.
25, yeah.
Yeah. Well, my swerve of the year is, and I don't think either of you guys mentioned it, was Lesnar returning at SummerSlam. Especially for guys like us. I mean, I don't know about you, but I have an IV bag with 500 milligrams of dirt sheets constantly on an IV drip. And I didn't see this coming at all. There was neither a Reddit post nor anything anywhere saying Brock Lesnar might show up. So, and it's so rare in this day and age that we get fooled anymore. It seems like everything we either, I thought that might happen, or you hear about it the day before. So and so's backstage, blah 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 blah. And especially in light of the fact that any show, when you know somebody's almost ready to come back, you can say, this might be the show. So-and-so comes back. This one, maybe so-and-so comes back. I didn't even think it was on the table because of the whole lawsuit thing. For something that wasn't leaked, wasn't spoiled, that to me was the moment that was like, holy fuck. Because not only did I not see it coming, I straight up did not think it was something that they would be doing at this point. So that one really got me. Brock Lesnar's return at SummerSlam.
Yeah, that is a good one because nobody saw that coming.
Nope. I thought that man was done. I thought he was retired. I thought he was up in the mountains.
I think we all did.
Like, got hunting. I thought he was done, but all right. This is the last one. This is the one that Doyle has. Go ahead, Doyle. Bring it on up.
Oh, okay. So this is I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed award. I'm sure everyone's parents said that to them at least once when they were kids. I got it pretty much daily, but that's beside the point. And I'll be, in the effort of full transparency, I invented this award because I couldn't think of another way to get to the thing that I'm going to award this award to. My runners-up would be the New Day heel turn. which I guess technically happened at the end of last year, but the heel run happened this year. And there was some fun to it. The dressing in the funeral garb and stuff was fun, but the turn itself was so fucking great. And just nothing really happened after that. So that was a huge letdown. And I alluded to it earlier, the booking of Julia, I thought was disappointing. I really thought she was going to be, in the main event scene by now, and she doesn't look like she's really particularly close, but I think she can get there. But my winner, and the whole reason I brought this, or made this award, is so that I could talk about how disappointing it was when they brought back R-Truth, and we were going to get a serious Ron the Truth killings, and he shaved his head, and in a couple of weeks he was right back to being that fucking goofball that we all kind of lamented him being, which is fun. But we thought, oh my God, he's finally going to get to be serious. He's finally going to get some meat, something with meat to chew on. And then he's right back to being a goof. So for the inaugural, I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed award, I'm going with the extremely disappointing booking of one Mr. Ron Killings.
Dre, what do you got?
You know what? That could very well be it right there, that Ron Killings one. I think I was so disappointed about that one, I just purged that from my memory. That's a damn valid one, because
that's true.
He, especially, God, we didn't even bring that up for promo of the year.
Yeah,
that's how disappointing it was, because that moment we came out there and cut his hair, and he said, "I'm no longer R-Truth, I'm Ron Killings." Like, that had all of us talking.
Yeah, I wanted a way to bring this up, and I couldn't quite put it into any other category, so I invented one.
Yeah, like, that's a damn good one. That's a damn good one. But it is not the one that I chose for the I'm Mad, I'm Just Disappointed award. In fact, gave y'all a bit of a tease as far as who it was going to be, and the fact that I have a new entrance theme for the podcast this year.
Yep.
My choice for I'm Not Mad, I'm Just Disappointed award goes to Jey Uso. As much as it hurts me to say that. And that is because at the beginning of this year, and it really hit for me when I came across a clip from from the end of 2024, when Jey Uso was Intercontinental Champion and was as hot as could be in WWE. I mean, everybody was yeeting with no complaints, unless you just hated yeeting to begin with, but he made an appearance on NXT with Trick Williams. And Trick Williams was NXT champion, and Jey was Intercontinental champion, and that NXT crowd was on 1,000 for them. With the whole, whoop that Trick, yeet. And it just reminded me of just how hot Jey was. And then the year starts off, and he gets the surprise win of the Royal Rumble. Could have been a candidate for Swerve of the Year, because going in, we all thought it was going to go to Cena or Punk. Those were the two, betting favorites. And it went to Jey. And I was like, okay. Me personally, I was hyped for it. I was like, hell yeah, Jey, let's go. And, going into WrestleMania, as long as it took us to get there, we got there, and they put the title on him. And we're now world champion. I'm happy for him. And then everything just went downhill from there. And some of it I won't blame Jey for, the long timeline between the Rumble and the WrestleMania. He can't do anything about the timeline. The booking of the feud was very lackluster, and by the time it finally got going and they finally gave us stuff to get invested in with the feud between him and Gunther, it was kind of too little too late. And the match itself wasn't horrible, but maybe the choice to have him make Gunther tap out seemingly coming out of nowhere. That didn't quite hit as the way they probably thought it would. But the reason why Jay disappointed me is because he was given the ball to run with, and he did not run with it. They gave him the opportunity, and especially if you watch, for those who have watched Unreal, it was talked about in one of the episodes, and Triple H said, we're giving you the ball to run with. He said something basically to the effect of, don't disappoint me, don't let me down. This is your opportunity. And we know those opportunities don't come along for everybody too often. So when you get it, it's on you to make the most of it. And Jay, he was one of the guys that I defended as to the tilt for the whole year. As I'm still riding with him. I'm still rocking with him. I was still, as a fan, was waiting for him to take that next step, for him to step his game up. Like, they're giving you your chance to be a top guy. You've got the fans. You've got the aura. You've got the momentum. You've got the look. You just two things that you need to work. You need to put the work in and improve your in-ring work. He didn't do that. And you need to work on your mic to be main event level. He didn't do that. He just kind of stayed the same when he should have elevated and taken himself and his work to the next level. And it would have probably solidified him as a permanent main eventer. But he didn't do it. And as a result, that title reign was short. Fans turned on him, even though they tried to keep him back in the main event scene. And, in terms of number one contender tournaments and all that stuff. And the fans just won't with it. And now where is he? Back where he was before. Tag team. Yeah, they're champions. Yeah, fans seem to be happy with it. But to me, it just feels like a major letdown because I wanted more for Jay. But it's probably not going to happen. And I'd be surprised if Jay ever becomes a world champion again. So he's my I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed award winner. And it hurts me to say that.
Mine is not
but I'm going to still be rocking my Yeet shirts, though, when spring comes back.
Mine is not so much of a wrestler or a storyline. It's more or less the company. Ticket prices. I firmly believe that the WrestleMania that we went to, WrestleMania 40, was probably the last affordable WrestleMania. The prices to go to pay-per-views and just everything is just insane. Hell, we can't even go to WrestleMania next year. It's in Saudi Arabia. We can't even go to the Rumble. It's in Saudi. Like,
you can go if you're willing to.
You could go.
You're willing to give up your life savings for it.
Yeah.
Listen. You know what? I'll go. How about listeners from the show just send in a little bit of money, and I'll go to Saudi Arabia.
Actually, the Saudi tickets are much cheaper than they are for us.
Oh, I bet.
I'll say.
You have to go. You have to get there and stuff, and and not drink alcohol or be a woman or be gay or be But other than that, but the ticket prices actually are very affordable, and I guess part of that is because they want tour. They want. That's the whole point of this is to sports wash.
Tourism and economy, sports wash and all that, I mean, you got to be one hell of a savvy-ass freaking world traveler to pull that trip off affordably. Like, what the Verbos, what the Airbnbs going for in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, just that. I mean, that's really what's disappointing me with this company is just ticket prices. Like, the Raw deal with Netflix isn't enough. The ESPN deal isn't enough. The what was left of the Peacock deal wasn't enough. The merch, everything. All the logos in the ring now, that's not enough. But it's just like, when is it enough, man? Like, you're literally pricing out your fans to the super rich. I believe Brock Lesnar's shirt guy said he's no longer going to wrestling shows. He retired his shirt. He burnt it. Like, Brock Lesnar guy
Did he
is
burn
done.
it?
I think he said he burnt it. Yeah. Like, he's
I know.
done.
I saw the clip where he like laid it down in the seat and walked away. I didn't know he burned it afterwards.
Yeah, I
Damn.
think he's burning it. Yeah, he's done, man. Like, people are just done with it. The prices are just keeping us from going. Like, they were here at Giant in Hershey not too long ago, and I literally was there the next night. Like, but like, I didn't want to go because I wasn't gonna pay that fucking price, dude. Like, it was just insane. But let's hope for a better year.
Yeah, I'm not going to be as optimistic about a better year because
I know.
Unfortunately, as bad as it is, what are they still posting about almost every show?
Mm-hmm.
Sold out, record gate, yada yada. Like, we just saw they just recently posted about the live show they did in Glasgow with Drew as champion. It sold out.
Yep.
11, like almost 12,000 tickets sold. Yep. And I'm pretty sure, and I don't think they cutting, people in Glasgow a deal versus people in the States. Now, obviously, Drew being champion and being homecoming has something to do with that, but that's just all part of the game. We got a show to sell. What can we do that's going to put the butts in the seats? Well, let's make their hometown guy the WWE champion. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that, because I don't think it was sold out before Drew won, but I'll bet the moment Drew won that belt, them tickets flew. Because, they're still going to keep playing the game, and as long as butts are going in seats, WWE's not going to have any reason to change until people decide to vote with their wallets.
Yep. Well, hopefully.
At least there's one category left?
No, that's it, man. That's it.
No, it's not.
No, we got
we haven't even done
I think.
Wait,
we got botch and match.
Oh, I took those.
I was saying, well, we damn sure didn't do match of the year. That's the one.
I did take botch of the year off because every year when we do it, it's always hard to find one. Unless you guys found one, I didn't do it.
I didn't put any thought into it, but I'm guessing, Doyle, you've got a couple.
Oh, well, I put the shift to Netflix and then the shift of TLEs to ESPN, which is a fucking total botch.
Nice,
still,
I like it.
Still,
you could call WrestlePalooza itself a botch of the year.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's true. But I mean, like we were even talking about it, I think, before we even came on. Like, sometimes when I watch Raw after the fact, I can fast forward through the commercials. Sometimes I can't. Sometimes there are no commercials at all. And then the ESPN thing, people still don't know how to do this. There's so much confusion. If you have cable and you have ESPN, don't worry, you can have this, no problem. But that's not what happened. Like, and I'm going to continue to bitch about this until it's rectified. And it's biting the hand that feeds, because I'm sitting in a house paid for by Xfinity. But Xfinity is the sponsor of the fucking show, but you can't watch it on Xfinity. It's so goddamn stupid. And still, you still see on if you're in any social media groups, still people that aren't sure where the pay-per-view is, when it is, how they can watch it. It's just such a fucking bungle. Total clusterfuck. I know they think that they're expanding their reach or whatever, but it's just confusing. And now you gotta have, you have to have Peacock to watch NXT pay-per-views. You gotta have ESPN Unlimited to watch the main roster pay-per-views. You need to have USA to watch SmackDown. You need to have Netflix to watch Raw and the library. You need to have the CW, right, to watch the NXT weekly show. And then the Evolve or whatever it is on like Tubi or something like that. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, what the? The sports are getting the same way. to the NFL playoff games, to watch all of them. You had to switch channels and/or services a dozen times. I mean, this is not just a WWE problem, but it's just fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, that's a very valid one. Yeah, just the whole rollout over ESPN. Like, I'm still waiting for them to work it out with YouTube TV. I mean, ESPN is back on YouTube TV, but I'm still But they promised that we're gonna get ESPN Unlimited as part of being subscribed to YouTube TV in 2026. I'm still waiting for that to happen. Mm-hmm. So yeah, they completely, and it's probably because they rushed the deal so fast that they didn't have the.
Yeah, well, because it wasn't even supposed to happen until after WrestleMania, I don't think, right?
It wasn't supposed to happen until this year. I think it was the beginning of this year that it was supposed to happen, but obviously it happened months early.
Yeah, they weren't ready. They got caught with their pants down, and they pulled their own pants down. It wasn't even like somebody else did it.
Right, they pants themselves.
Yeah. All right, let's do match of the year and get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. All right, man. My third place match of the year. I have third, second, first. I actually had the SmackDown Tag Titles match. It was Motor City Machine Guns versus DIY versus Street Profits. Yeah. Go back if you haven't. Go back and watch it. It was entertaining as shit, and it was like, now this is tag team wrestling. I also had the triple threat match at WrestleMania with Seth Rollins, CM Punk, and Roman Reigns. Great match. Got to see Punk finally in the main event at WrestleMania. Finally got his dream. But, a great fucking match. And for me, match of the year was honestly John Cena versus AJ Styles. I had so much fun during that fucking match. We got to see them use each other's moves. We got to see, Cena use the Sister Abigail. We got to see the RKO. He did the apron DDT, and we got to see him break out a few other moves like the Tombstone Pile Driver, and so I don't know. It was fun, and it was nice because it was a match we all wanted. When I heard John Cena was doing this retirement tour, that was one of the matches I was like, ooh, let's revisit AJ Styles and John Cena. Just once, right? And it's kind of what all the fans wanted. And, just on Twitter, they're like, you want to do this? Let's do this. And before you know it, we had a wrestling match, really one promo, maybe? We didn't even really need a build up to it. We already wanted it. We got it, and the outcome was good, and then they walked away. That was it. That's all I needed. That was awesome. I had a great time with it. So if you haven't caught it, go back and watch John Cena versus AJ Styles. I mean, it's fucking great. Dre, what'd you have for match of the year?
Okay, I don't necessarily have a 3-2-1, but I do have a number of honorable mentions that I'm going to highlight. One I'm going to give an honorable mention to is Chad Gable versus Hijo del Vikingo from AAA Worlds Collide earlier this year. That was a wrestling clinic and a merging of styles between Chad Gable and his technical wrestling style with the luchador style of Vikingo, and it just merged beautifully. Though that match, some of the spots that Vikingo does in that match will blow your socks off. It is absolutely a must-watch match. So shout out to that one. I'll give honorable mention to John Cena AJ Styles match because that may have been probably the single most fun match of the year, just with John and AJ just paying love to WWE and TNA legends of past by doing their signature moves back and forth. That match was pure entertainment fun. Honorable mention to John Cena versus Cody from SummerSlam. I think that was probably on the men's side, the single best world title match that we got this year. Was probably that match. That was a match that truly felt like a match for the richest prize in the game. It had that feel to it. That was, again, great match. By that same token, on the women's side, I would say probably one of the single best one-on-one women's title matches we got, I'm going to give honorable mention to, is Rhea Ripley versus Io Sky, the match that they had at Evolution, which I thought was better than the match that they had on Raw earlier that year where Io won the title. I think their rematch at Evolution was just a little bit better, but that was a phenomenal match, which was also the match where Naomi cashed in her Money in the Bank briefcase. So can't leave Naomi out of that match. But for what it's worth, my match of the year, my number one match of the year, goes to the women, and it is Bianca Belair versus Rhea Ripley versus Io Sky in that triple threat match at WrestleMania 41. That match was as close to perfect as you could get. From the storyline build up, as much as I was annoyed that Rhea Ripley was forced into the match, that means the storyline did its job because it got me invested. And Io Sky being the one that was treated as the afterthought and then standing up for herself and saying, no, y'all gonna stop treating me as an afterthought. Y'all gonna put some respect on my name. I'm the fucking champion. And nobody thought that she was gonna walk out as champion. Everybody looked at Io as, yes, the third wheel on the bicycle between Bianca and Rhea Ripley, because that's what people wanted. We wanted Bianca versus Ripley. We thought we were going to get it. And then they swerved us by having Io win the title. That could have been a candidate for Swerve of the Year. But she went into that match and came out, successfully defended that match. And like I said, that match from bell to bell was top notch. Absolutely incredible. But then Io to come out of that successfully defending against those two solidified her as a main event player. It gave her that permanent main event top tier status. And, you know, from moving forward, she can enter the title picture at any moment and is immediately credible. That match also helped solidify her status as what we've called her, you know, the best women's wrestler or the best wrestler period in the business today. It started here with this match at WrestleMania. So for my money, this was my match of the year. The only bad thing that came out of it is that it cost us Bianca Belair to a finger injury.
Yeah, dude, that's so true. But Doyle, what do you got for match of the year?
Yeah, I'll just give a couple of my honorable mentions. Some of them you guys mentioned, some of them you didn't. Sal Roca versus Jada Parker at Battleground. I think there was I think the ending wasn't so great. I think there was kind of a botch finish on that one, but it was a fun match anyway. Oba Femi versus Javon Evans at Heatwave was great. Going back to those Worlds Collide shows, man, I promise I'm not going to go into a half-hour rant about AAA again, but Octagon Jr., Aerostar, and Mr. Iguana versus Lince Dorado, Dragon Lee, and Cruz del Toro was so much fucking fun. It's a great little trios match. Yeah, just a blast. That first Worlds Collide, is that what they're calling them? That they did over the summer, right after WrestleMania. Specifically that first show was just a blast. Yeah, the tag team TLC right before Mania. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn and that like unsanctioned match they had at Elimination Chamber. And then before that, as somebody maybe mentioned, the Cody Rhodes KO ladder match at the Rumble. That fucking brutal spot where he did that like suplex onto the ladder or whatever. Oof, brutal. Io and Rhea from Evolution, great match. The triple threat with Seth Roman and Phil at WrestleMania was great. My match of the year, any promotion anywhere in the world, was Toni Storm and Mariah May in Hollywood Ending. That fucking was fantastic.
I meant to put that as my honorable mention. I meant to bring that up. I'm glad you mentioned that one.
But my WWE match of the year is the women's triple threat, Io, Rhea, and Bianca. Not a whole lot to add. You kind of nailed it, Dre. But I mean, just perfect match. Perfect mix of athleticism, storytelling. The crowd was hot as fuck for it. Every moment mattered. Every near fall ratcheted up the tension. It really could have gone any way. And the only bad thing is that, unfortunately, it cost us Bianca for most of the year. But I remember watching that match and saying, thinking that match was so great. I said, I can't wait to see whatever the match of the year ends up being, because it'll be better than this. But it just never happened. Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, that one. I did go back and watch the Hollywood Ending match between Toni Storm and Mariah May, and that match was fucking great. I meant to bring that up in my honorable mentions. I forgot about that match, but yeah,
there's some matches we should go back and check out. So if you didn't get a chance to, go back and check out some of those matches.
Yeah, and I know we mentioned a couple of them AAA matches, but they're all on YouTube for people to watch. Like the whole shows, you can live stream them. I don't know that there's a single bad match on any of those shows. On any of them, I could even give a shout out to what was the one I just watched? Javon Evans, Cartwheel, and somebody else I'm blanking on right now, but they had a phenomenal match at just right at the end of the year almost. But yeah, just go on WWE's YouTube and look up AAA. Their shows are there and top tier matches all up and down the card.
That does it for our Slammy Awards for 2025. We can put that shit in the can. Just real quick, I'm going to run it down real fast. But, we did have breaking news. TNA debuts. Former WWE wrestler Sonya Deville and Cora Jade have debuted in TNA wrestling tonight. I'm probably going to go back and watch that TNA episode to see that AJ Styles match, see who he fought. Also, I did say I'd bring up real quick who's all on the injured roster in case people are thinking and curious.
Somebody's OnlyFans just got shut down then.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking the same thing. People who are curious who are all might not be in the Rumble, and these are guaranteed thus far because they are on the injured roster. That is Chad Gable, Dominic Mysterio, JD McDonough, LA Knight, Naomi, Seth Rollins, Sheamus, Zoe Stark, Elton Prince, Kevin Owens, Michin, Piper Niven, and Omos.
Are you saying all those people are guaranteed to not be in the Rumble?
Those are just injured people that might not be in the Rumble because they're still on the injured list.
I'm about to say there's a number of people on that list that I think they may very well pop up in the Rumble.
Exactly, but as of right now,
namely Chad Gable among them.
Yeah, even maybe Kevin Owens and Bianca Belair.
I'm about to say no. Kevin Owens. I would say two people that I would say are guaranteed to not be in the Rumble are Kevin Owens and Piper Niven.
Yeah,
because of the severity of their injuries.
Oh yeah, Piper's probably done. I think, right?
Yeah, her career may very well be over, and we ain't heard nothing about Kevin Owens. People are starting to do this thing where we ain't heard nothing from somebody in a while, which means maybe they're coming back. No,
that's not good.
I'm just gonna tell fans right now, don't start that shit with Kevin Owens.
Yep,
that man's neck injury was nothing to sneeze at. It was very serious, very severe. We'll see him when we'll see him.
Yep.
Period. Please don't start the whole speculation thing. Kevin Owens might show up here. Kevin Owens might show up here. Kevin Owens might be here. I'm not trying to hear that from the fans all year at every major event.
Remember we did that with Randy? I feel like we did that with Randy for 6 months. Right. Longer.
Could he return here? Could he return here? Could he return it? No. You see him when you see him.
Yeah, you see him when you see him. So, well, man, this is a long fucking episode. So, Dre, you got anything you want to plug?
Nothing. Just as always, Instagram.com/podcast championship wrestling.
Okay. Doyle, anything you want to plug?
No, just like the Facebook page, join the Discord, talk to one of us there, and there was something else. But yeah, go Pats.
Yeah. Head on over to ProWrestlingTees.com, pick yourself up a t-shirt. But on our way out, I'm going to play some music. Here we go.
You are the world's dumbest son of a bitch.
The fact that day in and day out, for almost 6 years, I have proved to everybody in the world that I am the best on this microphone, in that ring, even at commentary. Nobody can touch me.
You are not ready for Oscar!
Because the Street Profits are up and we want the smoke. You're next. Talk about your songs. Talk about John 3:16. Austin 3:16 says I just whipped your ass. Well, let me tell you something, brother. New day.
Cream will rise to the top. Oh yeah, Macho Madness here.
Welcome to the Kevin Owens Show.
Lately, he just hasn't been very oozy.
Because I'm the Miz, and I'm awesome. Those rotten bastards.
Bye-bye, bitch.